Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Terminus Podcast. This is episode number 202 for the weeks of February 18th, 2023. I'm your host, Ellis, otherwise known as the Admiral. With me, I have Nicholas Christensen, TJ Sakosio, Nicholas Wakefield, and Hemlock.
Hey.
Hello.
In that order. We have the largest single block of articles on one topic that we've ever had in the history of this podcast, and I feel like most people listening can already guess what that is. So, I really don't need to tease it anymore. The train will terminate at this station. Alright, does anyone want to introduce where we're at?
I don't know where we are.
Oh, yeah, I know where we are. I was the one who suggested the camp. We are not doing Virtual Railfan this week. Big shocker.
Again.
We are using... oh my god. We are using formerly Railfit in Arizona, now Southwest Rail Cam's Kingman, Arizona Cam at the Kingman, Arizona Amtrak station on the BNSF Seligman subdivision.
So, Jeevos on stacks all day, every day.
Well, maybe not.
Well, we're looking at stacks, and I can only assume that there are Jeevos.
Well, I don't know what was on them, so I'm not...
There's no way to
there
find
was
out.
Yes, scroll back in time.
No, there's no way. The only thing you can send back in time is frozen beef. Anyway, this... I did want to say something about this camera choice, but now I have forgotten what it is. So...
Oh, we just missed the train with a CP leader that I chased earlier today.
Rip.
Foamer.
Outstanding, Achilles.
By 5 minutes. Had we started 5 minutes ago, we would have seen
Well,
it.
you know what?
Blame
Blame TJ. He couldn't find the 1361 picture fast enough.
Damn it, TJ.
What?
Oh, Julie's went to get water for like 20 minutes.
I had to make
Yeah.
right.
Oh, Jilly's also spent, 15 minutes on TikTok or whatever.
Yeah.
While we were
Okay,
trying to
alright.
Anyway, so have you guys heard that NS crashed trains?
No.
No, actually, I haven't.
Oh,
I heard they're a really good company
I-
who does no wrong.
well,
I
actually,
heard something about Palestine being bombed, but I didn't hear anything about NS doing it.
no. It was actually Detroit. They derailed a train with hazardous materials outside of Detroit. This is the big story, guys. We did it. We've made
Yeah.
it to the big story. Just kidding. This is like a minor
I
derailment.
can't believe they turned Detroit into a wasteland. I mean, more than the highways did.
You guys did the monorail? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's not a monorail.
Is there a chance the track could bend?
What do you mean it's not a monorail? This is not a railroad, right?
It's a monorail. It's just elevated
You just said
on
it's not a
concrete
monorail. You
platforms.
just said it's not a monorail. But it is a monorail. You're lying to me.
There's two rails.
Or are there?
But you
I'm
just said
pretty-
it's monorail, so...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not a monorail.
But you
Hold
just
on.
said it was.
Detroit
Okay.
monorail.
It comes up!
Ellis.
Looking this up. Yeah, it definitely is not a monorail. Alright, anyway. But Norfolk Southern wrecked a train on the 16th. Yeah, if you look it up, you will be disappointed. Actually, you know what? Let me show the audience so that everyone can know that this is definitely not a monorail. This is a train on a concrete pillar masquerading as a monorail.
Well, I'm disappointed every time I look
Like-
down, if you know what I'm saying.
Hey, wait, does this
Listen,
Damn.
does this use like the induction, like a linear induction motor?
I have no idea
That's-
how
I'm
the
gonna have
people
to
If,
look
mover
it
work.
up.
if it's magnets, I'm all the way up, okay?
It's-
Magnets
I'm
are some heebie-jeebie that I
Pretty
don't, I don't
sure it's
subscribe to,
magnets.
okay?
The people mover was like one little component of like a Detroit transit plan from the 1970s that would have included bus rapid transit and subways, and it was the only thing they ever built. The people mover, which runs in like a half-mile loop around
Yeah.
downtown.
It's like the Las Vegas monorail. What
Yeah.
a good idea.
I just
Yeah.
want to say that just in case anyone is in fact scared off by magnets, every form of rail transportation, bar a steam locomotive with no dynamo, does have a magnet in it somewhere.
Oh,
So
thanks for ruining
anyway,
my
yeah,
love
no,
of
I'm sorry,
Tony.
I've ruined it for you.
But
That was on the 16th. I guess we'll work backwards here. UP also wrecked a train on the 16th in Little Rock. This was a confusing article because the pictures of a CSX train. But, you know, it'd be like that. There was also a UP derailment in Montgomery County, Texas on the 13th. So 13th and the 16th. And also CP derailed at Mount McDonald on the 7th. And that's it. Those are the only derailments we'll be talking about this week. TJ was correct. The big item that we got all the articles on is EBT 16 running.
Oh, I forgot there were 2 Detroit derailments in the last couple of days. God damn it.
No, but obviously it's the
Mac-
Palestine thing. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
What is
Yeah,
everyone...
you can now be deported and have your citizenship revoked in Palestine. Can you believe that?
Outstanding.
Anyway, I love Israel. Give me more money.
Give me more.
Jesus Christ.
We are not sponsored by any sovereign nation.
Organization.
Yeah.
We are sponsored by
APAC. I got your check in the mail. Thank you.
NordVPN.
I just got the NRA's check in the mail. I had to think of
So we're
something.
gonna have a pro-Israel segment and a gun segment halfway through the podcast. They're not sponsored though. Okay, they're not sponsored.
No, it's just it's a bribe, not a sponsorship. Get it right.
I mean, I didn't say that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Israel.
So most of us have actually been indulging in MPS. I will just state my disappointment, and then you guys can talk about like the actual fun stuff you've been doing. So
Disappointment in how bad the route looks.
Oh yeah, no, it looks terrible. You guys are doing such an awful
Garbage.
job. No, oddly enough, the only part that looks bad is mine. I wonder why that. How did that happen?
Does your
That's not
party
true.
exist?
I do have a town with East. However, my attention has been turned towards making industries work because allegedly they work, but actually they don't. They don't hold their configuration for like more than a day, which is very upsetting.
That's an L.
And Ogilius, on the other hand, has
Can't
given
work.
up trying to make it work because his
can't
internet
join.
is garbage. So I guess that just leaves Milky and TJ. I forgot that I wasn't the only person having trouble here.
Oh, TJ and I have been working on the Geiger area.
Yes. We have.
I
We
like
have
the
been.
Kanawha with the blue comet coaches.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't got much for. Let's
We don't
say,
have interurban, so that can't be an interurban scene yet, but it will be someday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Progress is slow on the whole content packs front. But you know, work continues. We're gonna build everything else. We got a giant city to attend to, so
Yeah.
progress is slow. I'm gonna send an image of a bird's eye view, an above ground view, so to speak, so you can see kind of like what we're dealing with here.
It's tough to have an underground view, anyway.
Yeah.
But some of this
Budget
area
is-
looks really, really good.
Budget
Yeah.
just isn't there.
You talked about the content packs front. I feel like it's worth mentioning that as of this past week, we had a sort of breakthrough with regard to content packs. Like, they have now officially sanctioned doing them yourself, whereas before Kevon figured out how to make Kevon hacked the system to get us more content, basically.
Yeah.
I kind of wish he was here to explain what the hell he did, because I don't really get it. He just took
Kevon's just a hacker.
yeah,
I mean,
took like a DLC pack and copied all the code over and put the QIDs in and then uploaded it.
we played the game perfectly as it was intended to be played. We didn't change anything.
Didn't break it.
We didn't break it. We don't break the server ever.
Yeah, they definitely don't
No,
know who we
no.
are because we keep breaking MPS.
Yeah,
I
no.
mean, they did feature us in a good light at one point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've sent some images of Geiger in the
Very beautiful.
chat. So did Milky, and you can see kind of what we're working on here.
It's kind of astounding how you look at the the area from the one angle, and then you look at it from the sort of sky view, and it looks so much more put together. Like, you don't even notice that there are 10 blocks in between the foreground and the background that just have nothing in them.
Yeah, that's the thing I like about all the tall buildings is that I'm trying to do like the front stuff, like where you'll see it from a train.
I thought you were going to say you're trying to do the butt stuff, and I was like, all right.
Not in the MPS route.
Yeah, TJ does that on his own private route.
Yeah, I have a route for that.
The homework route.
The stuff folder route.
WAPCO.
Yeah, so we're adding. I think the first ever roundabout in trains. Don't research it.
We're the most modern vehicle development friendly trains route that exists.
Yeah, we're the most car centric railroad route. We're building boulevards. We're building city blocks. We built the trolley park, awaiting the trolley content to be added into the server.
And also a roller coaster track.
Yeah, a roller coaster track will come along at some point, but I just love how the skyline looks. Yeah, even already, nice. It's really nice to. Yeah. I mean, because like trains, like a lot of people do like mountains and the forest, and but every time I see a city done in trains, it looks really cool, regardless of who does it.
It does, and that's one of the the reason it stands out so much, as we are understanding, is that people don't do cities because they're way more work than the equivalent area of terrain or natural landscape.
It definitely helps when you can just come on in your own time and have other people do it too.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I noted is that like I'll go in and do like a bunch of buildings or like a few city blocks, and then I'll come back like the next day to do a little bit more, but there's like detail added to what I did the day before, and like that sort of thing is like really cool. I like that. I like being able to like if I'm bored, like go see what Kavan's working on down on his line somewhere, or even just like watch people run trains through the area that I'm building is always nice to see. With the integrated driver surveyor now, it's
really smooth.
It is really smooth. Like there's barely any, at least from what we've experienced so far, issues with like not showing trains where they should be shown and stuff. Because I remember
it's gotten a lot better. It's gotten a lot better.
We struggled at the beginning of MPS, like when we first started building Geiger with like object permanence, basically with trains. Like they would, like someone would place trains down and then they wouldn't show up for the rest of the server.
Oh my god!
the case
on it on the cam. Oh my god!
Oh my god! You'd have to like.
Yes.
I almost went up for that train, but I didn't.
Yeah, figured.
Yeah. I lost my train of thought now. But whatever.
Sorry about that.
Point is, there's it's come a long way, and there's an amazing rift between the stuff that works and works really well and the stuff that just doesn't work.
And like the cool thing is that like when we do find out that something's not working, there are people that are like seeing that and going, oh, okay, that doesn't work, we're going to work on that. Like in the back.
The development team is really responsive to our feedback. And that's great,
especially when our feedback is, hey, it stopped working, what happened to the servers?
I have not played, but I have been following the progress, and I just want to say every screenshot everybody posts looks great, and I miss Cancer Alley. Bring back Cancer Alley.
Oh, did that area get wiped?
Yeah, they took the houses out, and I'm sad. Bring back the Cancer Alley. Bring back that one SP derailment waiting to happen.
Oh, are you talking about the houses that were built right under a curve that could throw cars off onto the curve at any moment?
Right in the middle of that junction next to that huge bridge. Yeah.
Well, you'll be happy to know. Well, you'll be happy to know that it's still Cancer Alley because there's an abandoned lot with oil derricks adjacent to it. So
But where are the houses, TJ? Where are the nice little?
Well, the oil man.
Where's my nice little ranch in between like 3 active main lines next to some oil rigs?
Well, I'll just say that the oil man gave them an offer they couldn't refuse.
That is fair.
Also,
dumped a train
also
full of oil on their house.
Yeah, pretty much.
The offer was cancer.
The house is all melted because the train carrying hydrochloric acid fell and melted them.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But other than that, also we asked them to relocate to the other side of the train bridge. So now they're adjacent on the other side. So if a train falls off in the other direction, they're screwed.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Also, if a train falls onto an oil drilling place next to the city's going to go kaboom probably. So.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we've got a nuclear option in Gagger.
We need to build the Springfield nuclear power plant.
There is a power plant, but I think that might be getting moved or taken out because I think
it may be decommissioned because of the EPA.
Oh, yeah, the dang commies said that our nuclear radiation output was too high or something. So Geiger has been told to shut down the plant.
Damn.
They almost had a 3 Mile Island event, I heard.
I mean, it was a coal-fired power plant last time I checked.
Yes.
But, so I would be very impressed if you managed to 3 Mile Island a coal-fired power plant. But I guess that's why they have to shut it down.
Yeah, they don't know what they were doing there. Some guys thought they were working at a nuclear power plant.
Shoveling depleted uranium into the furnaces.
There's a lot of graphite on the roof, too. I don't know.
You didn't see graphite because it wasn't there.
From what I heard, that's what they powered the AA-20 with, is depleted uranium. They threw that in the firebox.
Oops, they went too far.
The next big development for MPS is going to be when Kavan connects the dang Union Station to the outside world, and then beyond that, the interurban and trolley stuff, so we can put up the dang wires.
Yeah. And I'll go back to, for me, the big upgrade is when they figure out how to make the industries not like Thanos snap their configs, so that we can actually have a functioning. I made some spreadsheets. I just can't use them yet.
At least the plans are in place.
Yeah.
Oh no, Cactus Kitty on the cam is fighting the tail end of a cold.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Well, shout out to Cactus Kitty on the Southwest Rail cam.
I wanted to share because
she's gonna eat some dinner. She's gonna go.
TJ Ellis is trying to.
No, it's fine. Actually, I was gonna have a little bit of a tangent here because I haven't done very much railroad stuff aside from the obvious Tolbrin isms. I did go. I have been to the PN a time or two because I'm supposed to be there. That sort of thing. And had a great little mini op session with a half-decent crowd that was there this past Saturday. Because someone went through and cleared out the entire branch line, and so we were refilling all the industries.
Classic.
Yeah. But last night, when we were supposed to make the podcast and we had as mentioned previously, a frozen beef issue.
I don't know who did that.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't like to say. But we then got distracted and watched 2 hours of Hoosick Tunnel ghost videos.
It was cool though. I enjoyed it.
It was a lot of fun. However, I do want the live Hemlock reaction of we sort of inducted Taki into the Hoosick Tunnel cult.
When?
Last night.
Oh, when you were playing War Thunder?
Yeah, well,
And you didn't tell me?
We went from playing War Thunder to watching Hoosick Tunnel ghost videos.
Yeah, and we heard the most irritating sound known to man, aka a spirit box.
Oh my god!
I never thought I never thought I needed a sequence of sounds less in my life than a spirit box.
I am upset that I missed this.
That's why I keep a Ouija board in my room.
Yeah.
In fairness, by the time it happened, I was probably in bed. Asleep, trying to recover from a headache. But I'm mad that I missed this.
Oh yeah, it was
what would have made that headache worse? The spirit box.
Yeah, I muted the video at one point because I couldn't handle the spirit box, and then you guys were still talking about it. I was, watching, and we were just sort of BSing about the whole thing and explaining about the 200 dead guys to Taki and the Husik Hotel, etc. And Agili's hyping himself up to walk to the Husik Hotel.
I want to walk in.
I want to go back so badly.
Yeah, it's again, it's like a cult, except it's more like a mental disease.
Like a cult.
Yeah, it makes you want to walk into the tunnel. There's not really another explanation for it. But the point is,
I am willing to walk into the tunnel, and I know that would probably get me kicked out of Four Foamers, and it's worth it.
When you post pictures of yourself at the Husik Hotel,
it wouldn't get you kicked out if I was going in with you.
you have to have.
I'm trying now. We just got to
both kicked out.
Yeah, I mean, I have the crown. They can't do shit to me.
Kick myself out. And make the 2 foamers. That's your.
See, now I gotta convince Ellis to go in because Ellis is like, I'm not sure I want to spend 3 hours in a dark tunnel in pitch black, and I was like, I mean, yeah, that's fair. I don't either, but
this
curiosity is getting the better of me.
I will sit on the outside of the tunnel
and wait
and listen for a scream,
and wait for the cops to show up,
and then say, I don't know that, and leave.
If we got seen by a train, we would just walk to the other side of the tunnel.
The other side of the tunnel is further.
No, it's not. The hotel is halfway.
I mean, yeah, but if you get seen by a train, the closest you're gonna be is halfway there. There's only one moment at which you will be equally close to the other side of the tunnel. All other times you are not.
Okay, yeah. If you're at the Husik Hotel, you might as well walk to the other side of the tunnel.
We had this conversation of, Gilly's trying to hype himself up to go and walk to the Husik Hotel, which is, for those who don't know, is a tiny room carved into the granite in the middle of the tunnel for the tunnel walker.
2.25 miles in.
The tunnel walker, who's the guy whose job it was to walk from one end of the tunnel to the other and back every day when under the B&M service to make sure it hadn't fallen in. Terrifying job, by the way. Agili's hyping himself up to walk there and back and saying, if I come up this summer, we're going to do it. You and I are going to go in. And I was saying, yeah, I would be so down to do this. It sounds really cool, except the tunnel is 5 3/4 miles. Or, the tunnel is about 5 miles long. I don't really feel like walking 5 miles, on the surface in good weather and sunlight. I definitely don't feel like walking 5 miles.
Actually, not 5 miles. It's 4 3/4.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's fine.
I wouldn't want to walk that. I wouldn't want to walk. I would not want to walk that in the dark underground. I especially wouldn't want to walk that in the dark underground when a train could show up and wreck my shit.
I mean, there's plenty of room in there to not be in the way of a train, but yeah, in the pitch dark, as dark as it ever gets, underground, and it's constantly raining on you. Because the Husik tunnel is just wet.
And there are voices and there are ghosts, so so you're not alone.
Yeah, and
at least I'm not alone.
Okay. You can dodge the train, but you'd also probably. I feel like you would also get choked out by diesel fumes and have your ears wrecked by being 2 feet from the side of a large train
in a tunnel. I'm sure it's not that
in a tunnel. It would probably be
I'm built different. I truthfully do not think you realize how different I am.
Everybody gangsta until they get choked out by the BNSF Jiva.
Jiva's on stacks, but it's a single stack because the tunnel is still too short.
Yeah.
I mean, then at that point, you might as well just train hop into the tunnel.
Yeah, why not? Just train hop into the tunnel. What could go wrong?
I say, but then you have to get off at the midpoint, but they're not going that fast.
Train hopping through the tunnel is probably the best way to get through the tunnel. Realistically.
Yeah.
The best way to get through the tunnel would be if they restarted passenger service through the tunnel.
Hey, more on that later. Not really.
I was gonna do the Hemlockism and say the best way through the tunnel is to not go through the tunnel and to go around a different way.
No, the Hemlock solution is vote for transit.
Yeah, that's also fair. Anyway, what is the Hemlock been doing? Anyway,
I don't remember the last time I've been on.
Your mom.
Well, more specifically, I can't remember if I've been on since last December, so I will give brief mention to the fact that I saw the CP Holiday Train last December and not dwell on it. More recently, I went out and I saw CN and Via back in January, almost ago exactly now. And let me grab some pictures of the short train you can model that I saw.
Nice.
Because it was like, the ratio of cars to engines was 1-1.
L plus
like,
ratio.
It was 3 CN Jeeps
Damn, got me.
3 hopper cars. Besides that, I haven't actually seen any trains since then, and you know what? I have the day off. I should go rectify that. But besides, work continues on GTW 4070. They did their fall 2022 report back in January. Work continues. Sorry about that.
That's something.
Work continues. They put the whistle on Hawking 3 and it was sick. They're continuing to, slowly roll forward.
It was fucking radical, bro.
Yeah, it was rad, and we got more. We got another Jader caboose pick out of it, which was great. So they're continuing work on that. I don't remember the specifics, but you can go watch the video. And then
Is that a Jader caboose pick? Like a pick of Jader's ass?
Like a pick of Jader poking his head out another caboose. Right. Actually, the lead engine on the train I saw last January, I noticed this weird marking on the front. Turns out, that's from when it briefly appeared in a movie. Like it was lettered for some fictitious railroad and starred in a movie.
There are a bunch of random locomotive movie stars that are just around, I don't...
Yeah.
I was thinking if I ever did a trading card batch for the Colorado Road Museum, I would do the GP30 that was in a movie and then also on fire.
Outstanding.
I haven't been in it because it was full of like soot and badness, but I saw it.
Yeah. Yeah, probably don't want to be in the burnt out shell of a locomotive.
I still want to go into the Hoosic Tunnel.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
You're good.
I'm gonna be real with you. That feeling doesn't stop.
Be real?
Yeah, be real. Did you do yours? I did mine.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I didn't do mine.
Better.
I want you to be mine, TJ.
Also, you had. I didn't get involved in this. I didn't get the chance to get involved in this conversation, but is this your local service? This Ion?
Yes, this is the local tram service.
Yeah. And
so
they had
what happened
4
was
inches of freezing rain, right?
not 4 inches, 4 millimeters.
4 millimeters.
But what? So
commie Canadians, SMH.
So back on Thursday, we got a douse of freezing rain, and it was not fun. I fully ate it trying to get off the bus. Like, foot hit the ground, and suddenly it was not my foot on the ground; it was my shoulder. Yeah. So, we had freezing rain on Thursday, and late in the night, it shut down the local tram service, the Ion. Reported was like 4 millimeters of freezing rain, which is like about 1/10 of an inch, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it was enough to shut the thing down. And let me get a picture of this, and let me get a screenshot of this close up on the frozen pantograph, because it looks pretty gnarly.
They just had to leave the tram there in the middle of the run, right?
Yeah.
Wait, did they not? Why is the system not winterized?
It's kind of tough to deal with freezing rain.
It is.
I mean, it is winterized because it's Canada. They run through the winter.
That's what I figured. Is it just like a freak thing?
Yeah, it's probably just that like freezing rain sucks to deal with, because how do you winterize against water? How do you winterize against falling water that freezes on contact with stuff?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so I found this out the hard way when I went to the tram station on Friday to go get my groceries. I took the replacement bus, and outside of the store I get my groceries at, I saw one of the trams just left there, abandoned.
Sad.
And then later, when I was taking my groceries home, I saw them running. It's something I hadn't seen before. They were running 2 of the trams coupled together. In normal service, they only run them individually because they don't. The system does not have the ridership to justify needing 2. Though I believe the stations are built with capacity to run 2 coupled together, just in case they ever need the capacity. So I saw them running 2 coupled together, trying to scrape ice off the wires just by rubbing the pantographs along it. And that led to some sparks. So I got some pictures of the wires sparking as they ran the train along it, and also a brief video because I didn't think to do that until it was basically out of sight.
Sparky train.
But yeah, it was neat. It was neat. It would have been more neat if the service was not frozen was not frozen solid, but
Yeah.
seeing them run the ice clearing was neat.
This is why every transit agency just needs a jet engine strapped to a flag car. That's.
Do you know what else is pretty neat, guys?
Go ahead.
What's pretty neat?
It's the locomotive I won yesterday.
Oh my god, that's right. That's right. How did I forget about this? Yes, you
everybody
need to talk
go
about
Rob
this.
O'Joliz's house.
Yeah.
Hemlock, did you ever hear about this? Did I tell you about this?
You posted about it. You posted about it both in the Four Foamers.
Oh yeah, because I sent it in all caps. Because I was so excited.
He was
You mentioned it in Real Model Railroading, and I believe in the Four Foamers, and I believe in Real Model Railroading. I said, "Yeah, go."
So anyway, if you're wondering what I might be talking about, I have to give you some backstory. And I'm not going to directly address what the locomotive I won is because it's really cool and it's very expensive.
Wait, what? Okay.
So about in Thanksgiving when I was home for the holiday, my Model Railroad Club in Utah was hosting a raffle to win a specific Scale Trains locomotive that you could have won.
BNSF Chibo. Yeah.
On stacks.
And so I, figuring I would just donate $40 to the club.
That's how much the raffle ticket was?
No, I bought 10 raffle tickets.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I was going to say, damn, that's a hell of a
Actually,
raffle.
I bought 13. They were $3 a piece. I bought 13. Anyway, I entered, put my name and everything, forgot about it. I got an email yesterday morning that said, hey, we're having our drawing today for this locomotive. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. And about 5-6 hours go by, and someone texts me and says, dude, what the hell are you going to do with this locomotive? You just won. And I was like, no shot. This locomotive is miles out of outside of what I currently model. And I was like, well, shit,
Heritage Fleet.
Oops, you have.
So,
is it one of the big blows?
Yes, I won a museum quality big blow.
Outstanding.
That's like $1,000 locomotive, and I won it for $40.
Nice.
No. Here's what you should do with it. O'Gillies. Four Foamers meet up at the PN where you run the big blow, and then we go to Hoosick.
And then you place it down in you place it in the Hoosick Hotel.
And leave it
as an offering.
Then the ghosts let you get out alive.
Yeah, and all it costs was your museum quality Scale Trains model.
Well, all it cost him was $40, which he had forgotten about spending. So,
Yeah.
But now I don't know what to do with it. It's way outside the era that I model.
Just told you what to do with it.
But no. But seriously, it is miles outside of what I normally model. So it's not like I just can go run it. I have no cars to run it with.
No, you can. You can just go run it for fun.
Wait, hold on. I have an important question, because I know it changes every other week. What are you modeling now?
I'm modeling the same thing.
BNSF.
As what?
No.
What are you modeling?
My freelance.
Okay.
SP.
Is your freelance nowhere near Union Pacific, or is there no Union Pacific in your freelance work?
There's Union Pacific.
Okay, then
there's Union Pacific, but it's modern.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but they have a heritage fleet though.
Or you don't. It doesn't have.
Or they still run the big blows in your timeline.
What do you mean you can't just heritage fleet a gas turbine? What do you think they're doing with it?
Or you just have fun with it because you model for fun, right?
Yeah.
You have the train. You can just run it and tell anybody who's like, that's not proto to suck it.
You also just sell it, make like.
If you're gonna sell it, why would you enter the raffle?
Because just sell it, duh, stonks.
Yeah, profit. I see pure profit.
Yeah.
That's such a dick move, though, Achilles.
Listen, someone's gonna end up with it.
Yeah, but someone could have ended up with it for like the $40 Achilles paid for it instead of Achilles, spending $40 so he could sell the model for a couple hundred more.
That's just a skill issue. They should have bought better tickets.
Achilles, if you sell it, I'm gonna.
I don't understand why. If someone else wanted it more, they should have just won.
No, I'm not gonna sell it to you for $40. I'm just probably gonna keep it.
And keep it and run it and have fun with it. That would be what you model.
Have fun, goddammit.
You like it?
We're gonna make you have fun.
I don't have fun anymore.
Damn, that's a mood.
Also, I've been sitting here scrolling through the Google images for Hoosick Tunnel, and I just want to send this one.
Oh no!
Look, it's a ghost.
What the hell? What is this?
It's a ghost.
What is this?
Oh, it's a ghost.
There's no arguing with that.
Look, it's real ghost footage.
Listen, when I was there with Achilles last, Achilles was trying to take his very serious video of potential ghosts and trying to talk to the spirits and be like, if you guys are there, and I'm just trying to piss them off, because as far as I'm concerned, a ghost has never actually killed anyone. I don't think a ghost has ever killed anyone. So what are they gonna do? Haunt me? That's what I'm wanting. That's what I'm asking for. Show me some goddamn ghost stuff.
What we should have done is stolen the Ouija board from the cabin up in New Hampshire and brought it to the Hoosick Tunnel.
Oh my god.
No, I think you just got to go in there and ask them dumb questions like that video last night.
Yeah. If you're here, should I have chili for dinner?
Can you flip a blizzard upside down?
Placing a blizzard in the Hoosick Hotel.
Is the Steaming Tender the best restaurant in New England?
No, fuck no.
Just keep expanding it. Is the Steaming Tender the best restaurant on the continent?
Yeah, and then the tunnel caves in on you because the tunnel caves in on you.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, given Pan Am and DSX's maintenance,
Well, I mean, if you watch the videos, there's just metal hanging down. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the Hoosick Tunnel collapsed with a train crew in it. Add more people to the bloody pit. That sounds like a good idea.
Well, when it goes down, I bet it's going to try and take as many people as possible because it's haunted.
Listen, clearly I haven't seen any goddamn ghosts, so clearly there aren't enough dead people in that tunnel.
What happens is it collapses while the entire Hoosick Tunnel cult, the Iron Horsemen, are inside hiking to the other end.
Yeah, that's going to be the next trip. Everyone meet at the Hoosick Tunnel and walk in.
Hey, no one's ever asked what the tunnel in our logo is. Which tunnel it is. So I feel like we have our answer. Anyway.
Outstanding.
Anyway, we're done with this segment 10 minutes ago, but is there anything else you guys want to cover? Alright, cool. The silence is deafening. It's time for...
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't realize.
Locomotive versus.
Oh, damn. Okay, real quick. So, are we actually doing the 1361 versus 1361?
Can I change my answer? Can we do the 1361?
I found it. I found it.
Yeah, TJ went through all that work to find the image. I feel like we have to.
All right, yeah, let's go. So this is PRR 1361. The state locomotive of Pennsylvania. Good, wonderful. And the New Haven I-4 1361, which is state locomotive of nowhere and probably hilariously corrupt, but whatever.
The locomotive's corrupt?
Well, the New Haven is.
I think this is an I1. This is an what is this? An I4C?
It's I4 something.
Oh, there is no I4C class on this. Okay.
It's just an I4, I guess.
Well, because it says I4C on the picture, in the source, but there's no I4.
Hold on, let's see.
There's just I4, so I think I'll just go with I4.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
that covers the numbers. So yeah, okay, that's fine.
Do the other ones? Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm just checking on the subsequent classes because they did upgrades. However, 1361 is a little bit of an old design, so maybe it's fair if it's the original. So are you going to do the I4, TJ?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Right.
Does anyone else want to hop in with the K4, or am I just going to take the reins on that?
I like Loco Versus, and I haven't done it in a while, but I feel like I would be robbing you of your. I feel like I would be robbing you of the PRR when I myself am more of a central person.
All right. Well, give me a second to just vamp for a second because I don't have my trading cards in here. They're on the porch.
All right.
All right. Let's. We're gonna talk while Ellis goes to get his trading cards.
Out of curiosity, do I have my trading cards hand? Did I get a 1360? We're gonna see.
Now he needs to make a 1361 I4 in the trading card. Just have to contact the University of Connecticut for this image. The communists have got it. The Marxists at the university have it. Milky, how are you doing? You've been kind of hanging.
All right. It's definitely silent in here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Ellis, are you back yet, or
yes.
This isn't going too well?
I have.
What the hell? What the hell? What did you people do?
I tried to ask Mookie how it was going, and I got
what?
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah. I just took off my headphones for just a second so I could grab my trading card and see if I had a 1361 because I couldn't remember.
And just all hell broke loose. Was TJ just alone?
I have no idea.
No, him and I were here for most of it.
Okay.
We were just I was vamping.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was filibustering.
Vamping like a pro. I do not believe I have a 1361 trading card. So yeah, I feel like I should leave it to Ellis on this one.
Oh my god.
I said Ellis that you have to
Yeah.
Oh, the dirt bikes were in the cam. I was like, where the hell am I hearing ATVs and stuff?
No.
I was thinking you have to make a 1361 card.
Yeah, I know. Well, I would love to make some New Haven cards.
But you just have to contact the University of Connecticut for this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Marxists have it. The university, public universities. Yeah.
TJ, what are you talking about?
All the public universities now. They're all Marxists.
TJ has gone off the deep end.
TJ has become a right-wing commentator, apparently. I'm sorry, folks.
I just found out. Look.
Yeah, but ironically, there's no such thing as
that. Ironically.
No, I see where the money is, and I'm going there.
In Minecraft.
Yeah, I see where the money is.
TJ, you're not. Nothing's wrong with you. You just like money, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Nothing's
I'm sorry.
Wrong with me. I just like money.
I forgot about all those checks that he cashed at the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah.
Ding, baby.
It's in the mail.
Cha-ching.
All the checks she will use to buy frozen beef.
Well, no, I already ate all that.
Milky, when I hear you say that, it makes me want to play Rocket League again, and that's a dangerous thought.
Yeah.
Oh no, that is dangerous.
Return of the ball touchers.
Yes.
Also, I forgot to put this stuff in the cargos. Nobody delete your things, okay? I need to put the things in the cargos.
I have not deleted my things.
Did you? Okay, you did not. Please.
I deleted myself from the podcast.
So to you soon.
Yeah. Everybody just ignore TJ. He's on strike now.
There he goes.
All right. Well, we got it.
Hold on. Where's East?
I guess. No scabs. No scabs. Don't cross the picket line.
All right, I'm back.
All right, TJ's back. Okay,
so wait, I didn't hear. TJ's not back. What are you talking about? We can't hear him.
Oh, don't cross the picket line. Yeah, I heard you guys.
Yeah, don't cross the picket line.
I have to scroll past the enormous spreadsheet of PRR Pacifics by road number, and it's just a catastrophe. I don't actually need to scroll past this. I have a trading card in front of me. What am I doing? But I should probably get a photograph. 1361. There we go. Oh, look, this nice photo of it sitting on display in the snow.
Outstanding.
Beautiful.
Oh, wow, that's like 6 pixels. How are there so
I like
few...
I like that stat.
This is a really nice photo.
Don't like that stat.
TJ, out of curiosity, are you using the original configuration or one of the like upgraded configurations?
Well, it's an i4C. It's an i4C, and then there's no i4C on Steam Locomotive, so I'm just going to use the OG.
OG.
Yeah.
Unless, wait, a 1361, is that like an upgraded one or no?
I mean, the PRR Pacifics did all slowly get upgrades, but it wasn't so much like internal upgrades as it was, what's the word? Like,
Wait. Okay, so it says i4E 1350 plus, and then i4F 1353 plus.
Yeah, because Steam Locomotive doesn't know which ones got upgraded.
So should I use i4F then?
You should probably just use i4 then.
Yeah, I would just go with i4 and then look at the photo for like.
I have no. Okay,
is the word
I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to be able to tell through the photo.
Well.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Also not.
It looks New Haven.
It does. I can see one thing that I don't have. That's for sure.
I mean, it looks good. I New Haven did it right. They shouldn't have scrapped them, but they did it right.
Yeah, that's what they did wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I please change the size of this? No, I can't. Oh, what the hell? I wanna change the size of the photo, but when I change the window, it just adds a scroll bar. That's not helpful. All right. Can I get a volunteer to keep score? I guess.
I can do that.
All right. Thank you. All right, folks that are not TJ and I, who's going first?
TJ.
My vote is TJ.
Okay. Go ahead, TJ.
Respectfully, Ellis.
No, that's fine.
Not bitter.
Not bitter at all. How could
let's go. Let's start off with a tough one here. Locomotive base ID.
TJ.
159.
5465.
Okay, all right, that's a win.
Against the K4 with a number in the 5,000s.
Listen, I'm playing the long game here, okay?
What? Okay, sure. I wanted to be known as the world champion and also part of the winning team on the doubleheaders bracket. I will be judging you.
World champion. Technically correct. Okay,
I'm the world champion.
Let's just go down this list here. Numbering class.
50.
All right, 425.
Oh my god, already working.
Number built.
50.
Yeah, 425.
Yeah.
Get on his level.
Look at these really quick. That's not a very helpful angle. I should probably look up pictures of other members of the class to understand what the heck is going on here. Haven I4. Can I see? No, not the BLI models. I would actually like.
I know that's like all I got when I searched for them.
Here's a better photo of one. What number is? Oh, this is 1351. Ah, this is the talk of the town from earlier. Let's see. Do I take a gamble or do I just go for like something that I think is half decent? Which, see, these are very good looking locomotives when it comes to how they were put together. Okay, so this tender is wrong. So I will say I've got my look by the stat sheet. What's your tender fuel capacity?
Tender fuel capacity. Uh, 12 gallons.
I assume that's tons.
12, oh, yeah.
12 tons.
It says no, I think 12 gallons are 11 tons.
No. That's going to be tons or metric tons.
It says gals/tons/liters/mt.
Yeah, so
that's just like standard formatting in case it's oil fired. You don't have 12 gallons of oil, and you don't have 12 gallons of coal.
Oh, duh. Okay, yeah, 12 tons.
All right, 22 tons.
12 big ones.
12 big ones.
Woof.
Right, 22 tons. Yeah, I was looking at this going like, oh, that's like a coast-to-coast tender. But it's actually an express tender because it's one of the ones with the water scoop, because my water capacity is not very impressive. Let's do... So many of the things that I could pick are going to, like, determine things in the future. But let's go with evaporative heating surface.
Alrighty. 3315.
Okay. 4,058. I was gonna say that's gonna make a difference going forward. What is your heating surface divided by cylinder volume?
192.62.
Okay, 218.64. That's not very different, so I'm gonna not do the other thing. What is your flue and tube length? Flue/tube.
My what? Sorry. Flue tube length?
Mm-hmm.
18.
19.08.
Oof.
Let's see. I'm not used to actually looking at it on the card. I'm like mentally checking off on the web page list. Let's see. Combined heating surface.
4091.
4091. Wow. Okay. 5001.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So where do I lose then? Great area. Wait a minute.
59.2.
Okay. 70.
Yikes.
Firebox area.
298.
322.6. Okay, so that's some things that I was fairly confident. Oh, let's do superheating surface. This is obvious.
776.
That's actually more than I expected. 943. Okay. Where do I go from here? You know what? Oh wait, Robert Leach did his power computation. I can do the power computation.
11,840.
14,350. Same as above plus superheater percentage.
14,090.
17,077.
Uh-huh.
Same as above, but substitute firebox area for great area.
70,924.
That's actually surprising. So 78,698. Power L1.
18,039.
20,851. Okay, what's the score now?
It's like 14-0.
Okay.
Damn.
I don't know how I'm gonna get six. I don't know how I'm gonna squeeze 6 more points out of this, without screwing up. Because I know there are some things that I'm looking at, and I know I lose. And there are a bunch of things where I think I lose.
Call a weight stat, it'll go.
No, I don't actually want to call a weight stat. See, there's my problem.
What you should do is you should call a weight stat.
No, I should not call a weight stat. In fact, I will call. Oh crap! So many all the ones that are left are gambles. I'm gonna call tractive effort. It's the one I feel safest with.
Tractive effort. 40,731.
All right, 44,460. Boiler pressure.
200.
Yes, 205.
You.
I was like, either this is gonna go well and I'm gonna win by the skin of my teeth, or this is not gonna go well at all. Okay, what the hell? I'm just looking at these and I'm going like, there's so I'm out. I'm running out. I don't know what to do next. They look a little smaller.
That's what she said. Maybe.
Okay.
Whose balls is she comparing?
No, they were then.
What's
then
the
we-
jaw size?
Let's do driver diameter. Let's see.
79.
80.
Damn
Oh
it!
god, I can't believe it was 79. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I was like, they do look a little bit smaller. They're not that much smaller. That bodes poorly for like every other stat though. Gotta keep gambling. Ellis Tavellio's weight computation.
Where do I do that one again?
It's what is it? Weight on drivers divided by engine weight. I know.
Can I just do it in the local Royale spreadsheet?
Yeah, you can do it in the spreadsheet. That'll calculate it for you. I have it calculated on the trading card, so I don't have to do math. But
Someone left theirs in here from last time.
oops,
Where is it on here?
it is
It's in Royale Tools.
Yeah.
Is that?
weight on drivers
No,
and
that's
engine
Ellis.
weight.
Oh, I was in the wrong one.
Yeah.
Too many.
Too many.
Hey, what is it? Weight on drivers?
Weight on drivers
Yeah. Weight
divided
on
by
drivers
engine weight.
divided by.
Oh, don't do that.
Don't break the formatting. Sitting here with Format Painter ready.
Format. Yeah, you gotta, fastest hand in the West, fastest tool in the West. I don't know. 0.62 minus 0.66.
Damn it.
Oh man,
Bitch.
what is the thing now? It's 18. 18.
18.
There's no way I'm making two more at this. There are
you need
very
two
few
more.
ways.
You said that 4 points ago.
I know. Well,
Well, come on.
I'm thinking. My brain's turning. I got the gear moving.
Is it?
It's
They call axle loading.
Yeah, I think I won't actually.
What about minimum weight of rail?
No, I also don't like that one. I mean, I don't really like any of these. They're all
How about factor of adhesion?
Overall wheelbase.
the fact
maybe.
that you're saying that concerns me.
I mean, do you have any other choices?
No, I don't actually really. I don't have very many other choices. That's true.
Why don't you just fuck around and find out?
Yeah, I
don't
guess I
Yeah.
will. I just,
Walk
fine.
around, find out.
know. Factor of adhesion, is that what you're calling?
I would like to make it clear that I'm calling this on my own volition and not because I was peer pressured into it.
I am calling bluff.
What is your factor of adhesion?
4.05.
Oh my god, that's good.
It's yours.
4.49.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, that's not good. Ooh, that's not good.
DJ, you got like one shot.
One
All right.
opportunity.
Well, I don't know how. Okay, I'm gonna do bad. I'm gonna fail. But minimum weight of rail,
Oh, 111 pounds per yard.
92.
Oof.
Yeah, if I could give you like one piece of advice, don't call Builder.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Who was your builder, TJ?
I don't know.
You can ask
I don't
Scott
know.
later, Julius.
Ignorance is bliss. Don't worry.
Or you can Google.
Wait, so
it
if I lost
and
Ellis
figure
Tamilia's
it out.
weight computation, that means I shouldn't call weight stats, right?
No, what Ellis Tamelia's weight computation is just calculating how much of your weight is on your drivers. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have more weight or that you will use weight stats.
All right. So if I count like, wait. So what's better, lighter, right?
Lighter is better in all weight stats. Yes.
All right. So let's do tender loaded weight then.
Oh, come on.
I mean, you got to brag about the coast to
Yeah,
coast
no, hit me where it hurts. Tender loaded weight, 212,000 pounds.
154,000 pounds.
Okay.
Total engine and tender weight.
That would be
Oh, I got the epic number.
225,000 pounds, or 517,225 pounds.
420,000 pounds, baby.
Oh
Nice.
yeah, blaze it.
Yeah.
All right, let's do engine weight.
Engine weight 304,500 pounds.
266,000 pounds.
These are pretty close locomotives at the end of the day.
I mean, they look pretty similar.
Yeah,
They're like yours is just like the PRR version.
it's a little bit thicker.
Yeah. Let's do axle loading.
You actually have axle loading? I mean, I have axle loading too. I have 65,000 pounds.
I have 60,700.
Ooh. Okay.
Did I do weight on drivers yet?
No.
All right, let's do that one then.
199,500 pounds.
165K.
Yeah, that's why you lost Stealth Smelly's weight competition.
So now I think that's it. I think that's all
I mean, you've got cylinder volume. You've got I think you've got tubes and flues.
Yeah, tubes and flues haven't been called. Power MT hasn't been called. The wheelbase numbers haven't been called.
And then
And then water
Yeah.
capacity hasn't been called either.
Well, I'm not
Yeah,
calling that one.
you can do the point total is 25 right now, but you're 11 down, so you
Yeah,
know.
well, I also I don't think this locomotive is remarkable really, so I don't know what style points it would have.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, get Tyler in here or Weibold in
At
here and
this
give him some points. but
point-
I don't know.
at this point, like,
Just concede.
if you would like my opinion on some things, at this point, you might as well gamble.
All right,
You
well,
can
let's
call-
just do, let's do,
You haven't called
what-
any of the wheelbase stats, right?
Yeah, what's better, longer or shorter?
Shorter.
Shorter.
All right, let's do engine wheelbase.
All right, engine wheelbase, 36.17 feet.
Oh my god!
Oh no.
36.10.
Oh my
Yeah.
god!
Oh my
told you-
god!
I told you
Yeah.
that it looks similar.
Way to be those
Wait.
guys, New Haven.
Wait, question.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
You haven't called year, right?
No, I'm kind of afraid to call you. I don't remember how old. I remember the K4s are old, but I don't remember how old.
Their grandpa.
I think they're like 1910s era.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, again,
Well.
you got nothing but gambles. So.
Yeah. Let's do driver wheelbase.
Driver wheelbase. Oh, this is going to be interesting. 13.83 feet.
No.
Wait,
14.08. Yeah.
What is yours?
14.08.
14.08. Oh, you spaced your drivers out a little bit. Oh no. All right. Well,
Oh no.
Oh, damn it.
I mean, at this point, do I gamble? I probably shouldn't.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, you're already going to
you're
win.
safely winning. You
I
can
am
just
safely
gamble
winning.
some more points out if you really
I mean,
want.
there
to.
are some
I'm just-
questions that I have,
just
but I'm
curious.
hoping maybe the
Yeah.
judges will answer those. So let's go to style points. Or let's go to
Okay.
judge's choice.
Okay. Well, Achilles, what do you want
Sophie's
to call?
choice.
I'm gonna go ahead and call Builder.
Altoona.
You ass. Alco Schenectady.
Yeah, you win.
Oh, I win?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, you count as home built.
Yeah. This one was built at Altoona. Some of them were built in Baldwin, not this one though.
It went.
This one specifically was built in Altoona.
Bro, what
Out-
was New Haven doing? The I-1 was built by several.
Yep.
The I-1A was built by New Haven. The I-2 was built by Alco Brooks. The I-3 was built by Baldwin, and the I-4 was built by Alco Schenectady.
They were shopping around.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
they
definitely
were-
not
they-
because they bought locomotives, didn't pay for them, and then had to buy the next batch from somebody else.
Yeah.
It looks like they're just evading
God.
payment.
Meanwhile, the i5 is just the best thing they ever had. The Hudson.
Yes.
There are some of these I really
I-5
want
was a
to know
streamlined
about.
one.
The
right?
i5 is the best
Yeah.
looking Hudson out there. Just don't at me.
All right, let's do year.
You don't get to pick.
You don't get.
Wait,
to
I thought
choose
I
that.
just won. No, you just said.
No.
Oh,
Okay,
It's
I
judge's
will.
Judge's choice.
okay, sorry.
I will call year as my
Alright.
choice.
1918.
Ooh, 1916.
Oh wow, I won.
Wow, Grandpa's newer than another guy.
This is a certified trading card moment because I'm pretty sure it's listed on Locobase as 1914 because that's the first of the class.
That's what I was going off to. Yeah, I was like, it's got to be 1910s, given that he's a K4.
Well, I mean, if we go off of Steam Locomotive, because 1353 Plus is I4F, and that was 1930.
Yeah, well, that would have been one of the rebuilds, but we don't know if this one was rebuilt. I would like to know.
Yeah, I don't know.
We need to at someone who knows a lot about the New Haven. I don't know.
At New Haven.
At Don Nevin, yeah.
Can we get him to join the Discord? Honestly, he'd be lit in the voice chat.
We need story time with Don Nevin, honestly. I hope he's doing all right. He's been under the weather recently.
Oh, man. Oh, I hope he's doing okay.
I hope he's doing okay.
The guy's like a million years old.
I want to know all of the remaining stats, but I can only ask one.
He rode on the last steam commuter train into Boston.
I'll throw TJ a bone, Valve Gear.
Hey, throw me a bone. Baker.
That's you had all the ones you wanted to know the answer to, but you picked one that you knew the answer to?
Yeah, because I'm throwing TJ, who is 10 points down, a bone.
TJ's not going to get 10 points up.
I know.
It's Walshurts,
That's why I'm throwing him a bone. Okay.
I mean, I can always see if you.
Can I ask about just one?
I mean, you could ask. They're not going to count. I also want to know.
Oh wait, we can only do style points on 1361s, right?
Yeah.
Yes. This locomotive, but you can assume that they're pretty much, they're pretty similar. The class is pretty uniform. But 1361's tender water capacity for the tender that we have it listed with is 11,300 gallons.
My tender water capacity is 7,500.
Oh wow! Okay, so I would have won that. I was worried because it seemed
coast
low.
To coast.
Right, I was curious because you had made mention that you had a water scoop because your tender water capacity was lower. It's like, is that like a Chekhov's gun? Would that be a Chekhov's gun situation? And no, it would have bitten TJ on the ass.
It would have been kind of because I think about these massive tenders that have like 25,000 gallons of water, and this one doesn't. This is just whatever tender that 1361 ended up with, which is sort of a weird one, I guess. It's not a coast to coast. It just has a lot of coal. But yeah, honestly, the thing that jumps out at me about TJ's locomotive, just to throw TJ a bone here, is that you have a smoke deflector. It is the most.
Oh, is that what that plate thing is?
Yeah, it's the most dollar store smoke deflector that exists, but it works.
It does deflect the smoke.
It deflects the smoke.
TJ has a hat and a tank.
Yeah, we have. You do have a torpedo tube, which is sort of a style thing that we've given a point for before, so I'll give that. But we do both have feed water heaters.
Well, wait, don't I have two different tubes on my thing?
They're both. Whatchamahoots. Actually, do I have a feed water?
I think TJ has two dynamos, from what I can tell.
Actually,
yeah. It does look like TJ has two dynamos for some reason.
I think I'm not sure I have a feed water heater.
I've got the little bumper. What are those pushing pockets or whatever those
polling pockets?
Pockets.
Yeah, we both have those. I've got polling pockets in the cast pilot, which is also a point. The cast pilot and the folding knuckle.
This is true. It puts Alice at 21.
I don't know about 1361, but it looks like a bunch of these had white walls, because I'm finding a lot of once they don't have the heavyweights anymore, it looks like they all had white walls.
Oh, I mean,
if you look at the stream when they have the what are those MacArthur coaches or whatever?
Oh, the Osgood Bradley coaches, which are straight gorgeous. I love
those.
So
good.
Yeah, they are.
I sent a picture of 1372 at a crossing with the coaches. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that's a good shot. It's funny that these things ended up on freight service later in life. Because the New Haven replaced all their passenger services with either the Hudsons or diesels very quickly. So they ended up just doing odd jobs until the end of Steam on the New Haven, which of course was much too soon, and then they were all scrapped.
What is this little brass looking thing above the first driver? Is that like a lubricator? Like, what is that? It's on both sides of the locomotive, it looks like.
Oh, I need Tyler here to say something. It looks like some sort of injector thing.
Little brass thing.
There's a hose coming down off the... Hold on, I can post the picture of... I can post the picture of 1351. You can see it pretty clearly.
Oh, Milky.
The thing that
whoops.
looks like a valve going into the boiler.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's just like... I'm pretty sure that's just a tube for feeding steam, like, from the boiler into the feed water heater. I don't think that's, like, anything special.
Yeah, that goes with you've got a feed water heater.
That's a unrelated, but TJ appears to have a toolbox on the front end.
TJ definitely has a toolbox. I also have a toolbox, though.
We both have marker lights, I assume, right?
It's on the running board. Yeah, we both have marker lights.
No, you don't. In this picture, it doesn't look like, unless they're not lit.
I mean, in this picture, I don't, but I know that's it's not like the Pennsy went without marker lights. That would be a very Pennsy thing to do, but that's not what they did.
They did not. Yeah. TJ looks like he has cab doors, though.
Yeah, TJ has cab doors and I don't. That's a good one. That's a good call. I've got my, obligatory, I've got the number plate going on.
So what is a cast pilot exactly? Because it looks like a few of these have solid pilots, but I don't know if it's the same.
A couple of them do.
A couple of them have something, but I don't think it's enough to call
like,
it.
Is that like
they have
is
little
it a plow?
Yeah, they have almost like flanging gear, which is probably a point. I would give that, but it's sort of correspondent to the cast pilot. So we both got points in that direction.
And TJ has the world's smallest switch board up front.
Yeah, I know, they're really small. TJ definitely gets that. He has a better step up front than I do. I have a bell pair.
Steps on the side, too.
Yeah.
I have the bell pair. I have a dynamo in a more accessible location for maintenance.
But do you have two dynamos?
I know it looks stupid. Does he have two dynamos?
I do.
Look at the back of the towards the back of the boiler. It looks like he has two dynamos.
I do, yeah.
Look at the picture of 1351.
I'm pretty positive.
That's a good. Yeah, you know what? Yeah. That does look like two dynamos. I'm not sure it is, but sure, I'll give it to you.
I mean, it's like 24 to 15. You know, there's no coming back. Throw him a bone.
I'll be generous.
Yeah. This is catharsis after that one episode.
I have... Let's see. Now, we both have that going on.
Wait, why do I have one cast drive? Like, I don't know if this is just 1351, but the front wheel on the pilot is cast, and the second wheel is like a wagon wheel?
Wait.
No, that's just... I think... Is it just?
From the looks of it, that's also a thing on 1376. It's not on 1361 that appears to have two casts.
What the hell, New Haven?
It appears to have two cast wheels, but it does not appear to be isolated to just this one locomotive.
They just threw whatever wheels they had in the shop left over.
Yeah,
they had mix and match.
Those drape us with some skull and some box puck.
You know what neither of us have, and I'm kind of disappointed by, and it's my favorite new thing to write down on trading cards. Neither of us have smoke box door hinges, where you can unhinge, open the entire front of the smoke box instead of just the little door.
Yeah.
And neither of us have that, and I'm very disappointed. Does anyone have... Oh.
I don't...
Okay, no, you do have power reverse by the look of it.
Yeah, I was going to say, TJ does appear to have power
reverse. I've got the water scoop. Forgot about that.
You do.
Cast by the power reverse polling package. Automatics. Oh, I've got an automatic stoker, but I can't prove that you didn't.
I feel like at this point, unless TJ's really burning for it, and unless anyone's burning for more style points on the I-4, I feel like you could just...
Yeah, I think Ellis wins.
Yeah, that said, the I-4 is a really cool locomotive.
Right. This also is entirely unrelated to style points, but I wanted to mention it. Something that I had heard Heist mention in one of his videos recently is that some later locomotives had like the wagon top in reverse where the boiler gets smaller going into the cab, and it's like, huh, I'd never noticed that before. And the I-4 has that. The boiler shrinks down going into the cab so that it fits.
Oh. Huh.
If you look
That's
at this side-on shot of 1376, you can see the boiler slopes down going into the cab.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is neat.
Yeah. Anyway, that was unrelated entirely.
Also, another locomotive with the spoked thing. I can see light through the rear leading wheel.
No, they're both cast on that one.
They're both cast? That's not light from the back?
They both appear kind of spoked because... I mean, no, it looks cast.
It does look cast, but I just see like
back.
the speck of light, and I'm thinking that I can see all the way through.
What is this? What is this wire going between the rear truck and the tender?
It might just be a wire.
Yeah.
Yeah, no idea.
Anyway.
Kevon has a bad influence on me. Sorry.
What did he make you buy now?
He's not. I haven't bought it yet.
Kevon.
I haven't bought it yet.
We mean yet. Virgilius, what is he trying to get you to buy?
He wants me to buy an undecorated GB38.
Well, you need that.
Okay, fair.
You do need
GB38s
that.
are
Yeah, you should
cool
get that.
and good. But you shouldn't buy. You just won a scale trains model. You don't
I know,
need...
and I need to paint the ones I already own.
Yeah, you should do those things first.
I will clarify. I was joking. Don't give in. Don't buy the thing.
Don't buy the thing. I'll be mad at you, Achilles.
But Kevon. But it's
Achilles,
Kevon.
Achilles, I'll be very disappointed in you.
Well, it's not like you already aren't.
No, Achilles, I'm very proud of you and I love you, but please don't.
No, you're not. I just got a 68 on a math test.
You think Hemlock cares how you did on a math test?
I care.
buddy.
It's differential equations, and all my
Differential
friends are gonna,
equations.
Yeah,
Getting not a 0 is an accomplishment. I hated DiffyQ.
Dude, do you know what my score was in my term 1B calc class? It was like my final score was like 68, was like 65. I passed that in the 60s. So no, I don't care. I'm still proud of you. College is bullshit and your grades won't matter in like 10 years when you actually have a job.
True.
I'm very proud of you and I love you. You're my very good friend, Achilles.
But you won't. I won't be your very good friend, and you won't be proud of me if I buy it.
I'll still be your friend, but I won't be proud of you.
Okay.
Anyway, do we want to vote on the locomotives here?
I4.
I'm gonna go with New Haven.
Yeah, fair.
Oof.
Milky?
I4.
Yeah, that's deserved.
Oh.
They're very cool engines, and the New Haven scrapping everything under the sun is a crime.
Yes.
Crime and a travesty.
It's a crime, but it isn't the crime that McGinnis went to jail for. But you know,
Should have been.
the point is that New Haven committed a lot of crimes.
And should have been all the other crimes. Screw that. You know, the fraud is worthless. We care about what he did to the locomotives.
Yeah.
Listen,
Who gives a shit about
embezzlement
fraud?
is a victimless crime. Okay.
Yeah, embezzlement is a victimless crime. Who's losing? The Wall Street guys? Come on, who cares?
We're not victims.
Yeah, exactly.
Meanwhile, the railroad being the small domino in the largest bankruptcy in U.S. history to that point.
Yeah, and that was a victimless crime. You know, who did PC hurt?
The banker
Oh my
heuristic.
God.
Potatoes.
Massachusetts making
Okay,
faster
yeah,
than
no,
the
that's true.
website.
It did hurt the
Christ.
banger heuristic.
What were you saying, TJ?
Dang. This freaking website for the Mass Legislature is the slowest freaking website. Oh my gosh. Just let me open the dang bill.
I wrote the damn bill. Do we want to talk about Massachusetts? Can we talk about Massachusetts?
Let's do it. Why not?
The MBTA was going to do like a battery.
Oh, I wrote the damn bill.
Yeah, a battery electric thing. And now they're going back on that. They're also setting out a deadline to phase out the diesel-powered commuter trains by the end of 2025. 2035.
3025.
2025!
Yeah.
Sorry,
Long
we've been doing
after-
too much New Haven stuff. Listen, I'm noticing the important caveat here. Were you trying to load up this bill?
Oh, I have the bill here. I have it
Okay.
loaded.
Does it say that they have to be powered by electricity, or does it say not diesels?
It says, hold on, Section 1...
Because I see an opportunity.
Okay, Section 1 of Chapter 90 of the General Laws is appearing in the 2022 official edition is hereby amended by adding the following definitions, quote, zero emission infrastructure, quote, means EMUs, electric battery chargers, trolley bus and railway catenary wire, and other equipment to support the operation of electric vehicles. Section 2. Chapter 21N is hereby amended by inserting after Section 7 the following sections. Section 7.5. It will consult shall enforce targets. Okay, so there's going to be an intergovernmental council. The EPA, blah blah blah, are going to come together to decide on this. The MBTA and its commuter rail contractor shall operate, that's Keolis, I believe, shall operate a fully electric commuter rail system by December 31st, 2035, and ensure sufficient zero-emission infrastructure is in place to accomplish said timeline.
Keolis also operates the Ion.
Does it really?
Yes.
That's neat.
Ellis,
I'm trying to, I'll keep reading. You vamp, I'll keep
reading. Do they
this.
actually collect fares on Ion?
The way the fare collection works is like you're supposed to pay your fare, and every once in a while to like transit security officers will come on board with like notepads and a scanner, so you have to scan your ticket or the card to prove you paid your fare, and they'll write you like $100 ticket if you can't produce a fare.
Damn, that's pretty intense, considering on the MBTA they just sort of go like, yeah, okay. Like, they look at your ticket. They don't even scan it. They just sort of look at it sometimes.
I had one of them chip it one time.
The thing is, you can absolutely just, like, dodge them super easily. Like, you could see them standing on the platform before they get on, and because the train is 4 doors and they get on at the 2 end doors, if you see them on the platform and you don't have a fare, as long as you're paying attention, you could just step off the train on that platform and wait for the next one, because they won't be on that one.
Speaking hypothetically, anyway.
Speaking hypothetically, you should not dodge your fare, and I paid my fare. Also, Ellis,
I don't know if I'm not paid their fare.
They didn't pay their fare.
To your thing about a potential opportunity, I mean, maybe they require electricity, but consider.
There are magnets in all steam locomotives, or this. Yeah, this is a good idea.
Yeah,
you got it.
Yeah, we do this.
Submitting this to the Massachusetts General Council right now. Like, they said so they're going to use proven technologies. The wording is, Crichton indicated that he'll push the T to use proven technologies like overhead catenary wires.
Yeah, it says we know catenary will work. We can look at what's worked for hundreds of years and string up the catenary and get moving. I can't predict what the future of battery tech is, but right now it's not being used for systems like this. So it looks like it doesn't specify in the bill per se what technology they should use, which is why he said that in the article. But one interesting point that I found, that there are some stricter like guidelines onto what they are going to have to do with this. So it's going to be done in phases. Mm-hmm. Commuter rail lines serving environmental justice populations as defined in section blah 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 of the general laws shall be the first lines to electrify in phase 1. In phase 1, the MBTA shall operate electric trains on the Fairmount commuter rail line from South Station to Reedville Station, the Newbury-Rockport line through Beverly Station, and the entire Providence-Stoughton line by December 31st, 2024.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I mean, the Providence-Stoughton line is the easy one. The Fairmount line is relatively easy.
Going off, I'm muting my mic.
He said he's...
My smoke detectors are going off.
Oh, for God's sake.
Good luck.
No. The real MBTA experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Am I on the orange line right now? Terminus Podcast, the orange line experience.
There you go. I need you to leap out of this train into the river.
Yeah. Swim.
Not
if a guy on a boat offers you a life jacket, give him a dirty look and swim away.
Oh, here you go, Alice.
Okay, my roommate just burned some chicken.
Not later than November 1st, 2023, the MassDOT should begin construction on the Fairmount Corridor and Newbury-Rockport Line Environmental Justice Corridor to support rail electrification. So there we go. That's how they're planning on getting to that 2024 date, I guess, is by starting the end of this year, building it.
Okay, sure.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I don't... Here's the thing. This is a really great push, but unlike these sort of like we're gonna ban the sales of gasoline-powered vehicles, so everyone has to do electric cars. This requires like proactive work to put up all the dang wires, which I agree they should totally do. I disagree that this is gonna happen. They're gonna like kick the can down. Like they're gonna be like, oh sorry, like you know what, just give us like another 10 years and then another 10 years and then whatever. And especially if they want to extend the commuter rail to places like the Hoosick Tunnel, and I know that was already electrified, whatever. But extending it to Western Mass, and yes, when I say Western Mass, I do mean west of Springfield, not west of like Boylston or whatever.
Well, I mean, they did say, I think they did just approve a bunch of funding for research into that.
Well, I sure hope so, but I'm saying if they do extend commuter rail that way, they're not going to be putting up the dang wires to do it.
Oh, no.
So
it says,
I hope that there is movement at least on the couple of lines where it could be more reasonably done out of South Station.
I think that's definitely why Phase 1 is Phase 1.
Yeah.
Alternative title, we just electrify everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
yes.
this is Phase 2 is the Framingham and Worcester line by 2026. Okay, dude. By the end of 2026. I doubt that CSX is going to let you do that.
Honestly, Framingham Worcester would probably be the next one that makes sense.
It does make sense, but like, how is like CSX is not going to let them?
I don't know if CSX even owns that stretch.
I think they own after Framingham, don't they? Because they run on.
Well,
they have a yard in Worcester.
There is very few that would. There's very little that would keep MassDOT from going like, yeah, okay, we'll just buy this though.
Yeah,
I mean, they do that.
Socialism is when government does stuff, so.
Yeah, well, they're going to do the eminent domain on the railroad company with the Uno reverse card.
No, they really should though. Do the Uno reverse card eminent domain on the railroad.
So Phase 3 is the Middleborough Lakeville line by December 31st, 2027, and then Phase 5. What is this? Phase 5. Phase 3. No, Phase 4. Phase 4 is funny. Because this is Phase 4. MBTA shall operate. Sorry, I keep getting confused with MBTA and MassDOT when they're all written out and not abbreviated. MBTA shall operate electric trains on the remaining routes listed below and remaining sections of the Newburyport-Rockport lines by December 31st, 2035. Okay, this is how many we have to do in this last phase. South Coast, Haverhill, Lowell, Fitchburg, Franklin-Foxborough, Kingston, Greenbush, Foxborough Event Service, Needham, Newbury, Rockport, beyond Beverly.
Yeah, so that is every single line out of North Station.
That's just like the rest of them.
And also just a smattering of lines out of South Station. Like the South Station ones are going to be the easy ones to do. North Station is going to be a whole thing.
I see no problems.
I bet, you know what I bet they're going to do? I bet they're going to operate some battery shits out of North Station and electrify like with wires out of South.
Honestly, I bet they're probably not even going to bother getting the battery stuff. Like if they can get the ball rolling on proper catenary electrification in the South Station area, and that's a big if, but if, there is no way they're going to be like
they're going to switch
thumbs upping purchases of battery electric locomotives. Especially if they're already picking up regular electric locomotives for use at a South Station, because the whole reason
I know where they can get a bunch of AEM7s.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. The whole reason they haven't done electrification on the Providence-Stoughton line in the first place is because they are so anal about making sure all their fleet can go everywhere.
Because because they're annoying.
Yeah, but you know.
Listen, I think we need to wipe the slate clean, get rid of the debt from the Big Dig, or at least take it off of MBTA's plate, and then just say, okay, yeah, that's what I mean. It's like isn't it their own debt? Didn't they take it on?
I don't know.
Is it like the federal debt where it's just like, oh yeah, we can just like delete that from a computer and it'd be gone?
I mean,
or like student debt. I mean, not federal debt.
I was gonna say, well, I don't know about that, but they could always just reallocate it or just not worry about it.
Yeah,
you know, they can allocate the money to.
Pretty sure that's what the main cripple of the MBTA is that they're like paying off debts that they shouldn't really be paying off, right?
I mean,
and then they're underfunded on top of it.
I can't imagine that isn't a drop in the bucket compared to the actual operating and capital budget of the MBTA. It's a lot of money to run the thing, and it's not, you know, I mean, a lot of it's just been catch up on deferred maintenance, so.
Yeah, true.
You know what would make it, like, cheaper, more efficient to run the thing? If you use the goddamn wires. If you put the capital cost down to put up the goddamn wires, then the thing will be cheaper and easier to run.
The issue is they can't even spend the money to like maintain the track they already have.
Yeah.
If
the MBTA
has taught us anything, it's that the track with the wires is more expensive.
True.
Yeah, but the thing that OpenTTD also fails to capture, the thing that OpenTTD usually fails to capture is that, you know, this comes at the benefit of the things you run under the wires, so being, like, cheaper and easier to maintain, generally.
You would hope. I'm sure the MBTA will find a way to break them.
A bunch of the wires out of South Station they won't even have to pay for.
Yeah, that's right. You know, that's why it's Fairmont Line and Providence Stoughton Line are like the easy version.
That's why you do those first, is because most of those are, you know, already got most of that. Thanks, Amtrak.
I think the most interesting part of this bill, as I'm finishing it because it's 4 pages long, is the Section 4, where they talk about frequency standards.
Frequency.
It says the MBTA shall implement service frequency. Okay. The MBTA shall implement service frequency standards to ensure that rail electrification tech meets the goals of a regional rail system. Which one? I don't know. But by the end of 2029, MBTA shall have the ability to operate service on the Fairmont Line, Newbury Rockport Line through Salem Station, and the Providence Stoughton Line every 7.5 minutes in each direction.
Okay, sure.
By December 31st, 2029, MBTA shall have the ability to operate service on the Newbury Rockport Line branches from Beverly to Newbury Rockport every 15 to 30 minutes in each direction.
Okay. Like, theoretically, from an infrastructure standpoint?
This is also just the ability. This is not they will be doing it.
That's what I'm saying. It depends how you define the ability, you know? Like, if they have double track that they could do that with, then yeah, like that counts as the ability. If you're saying they need to have like the rolling stock in order to maintain that level of headways, there's no way that's happening.
No way.
That's a lot of engines.
Although that has to be part of the ability, right?
I guess.
But also I think if they're utilizing EMUs, then locomotives are kind of out of the equation at that point.
Yeah, that's true.
You just need to buy a bunch of like EMUs. I mean, we could just go like Metro North and just buy a bunch of like hybridized subway cars, basically.
Yeah, if they, at least we know that M8s work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean that's true, and I suppose as far as equipment goes, if you do dial it down to the point where you're running that many trains in a short span, then they don't have to be as long.
Yeah.
But you know,
nothing on the Pittsburgh line here.
Wow. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, they don't care about the frequency. Here it is. By December 31st, 2035, MBTA shall have the ability to operate service on the remaining lines and portions of lines not mentioned above every 15 minutes in each direction.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I would just like to think that they're shooting for the moon, and hopefully they like get off the ground.
Yeah, I think at least and the Mass what is it, Mass Streets blog, Streets blog Mass, they kind of frame this in a nice way that like overall just like the agenda of the legislature is shifting more towards train good, car bad / car bad in general,
or just like which is train good in general, please.
Yeah, and I think that's, I mean, like, as much as we talk about all the stuff that could or could not happen, like we did for the past 20 minutes, I think it's just, like, good that we're going in this direction.
Yeah, I hope that regional rail standards has to do, or sort of has implications beyond just frequency, because getting train lines that go a place other than Boston would be nice, but that's maybe neither here nor there. Anyway,
well,
we should probably move on to a different topic, because that was one article. That's why I was like, this one article will be a discussion topic on its own, I'm sure of it.
A 15-minute Rick and Morty adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can think of one article that's especially long.
Wait, what?
I said I can think of one discussion topic that's especially long.
Well, yeah, I figure we'll save that for last and just sort of run out the clock with it. And I was going to say let Milky go now, because he's got this massive pile of stuff. This is like vintage Milky. How quickly are you going to bang through all this, what's the topic? Western Railroad Preservation stuff. Go for it.
Okay. So we're going to start off with my boy, the SP M6 Mogul, particularly 1744. Because I have no updates on ours. But anyway, Niles Canyon is continuing to do welding work to the frame to patch up some bits of it that need repairs. So they're giving it a good, like, really good rebuild, and I can't wait to see it when it's done. But they give just general overview update on the Brexit, and also a little bit of the Pacific that they've done some stuff on as well.
All right.
But they have not given an update on their turntable. But the Oregon Rail Heritage Center, on their hand, has given an update on their turntable.
We've had a surprising number of turntable news items.
Yeah.
Which I will throw in the other one, which is a really great video from the folks who do 2926 in Albuquerque, messing with their turntable, which I did not know they had.
Yeah.
Just very fun little video. I'll throw that in.
I think in time they're going to move to the Albuquerque Roundhouse or Shops.
That'd be very cool. I mean, aren't they kind of stuck on a side?
I think that's one I think they're trying to get unstuck.
Good luck to them.
What else is trying to get unstuck is the SPNS 700.
Wait.
They're doing work. Okay, they're restoring it to run out of the building.
Okay, yeah. It's been in quarantine.
Yeah. So they did some boiler jacket work on it a couple of weeks ago. And then they got a generous grant of $15,000 to help rebuild their feed water pump.
Cool.
Very cool. Also very cool is, and SPNS related, is the Inland Northwest Railroad Museum has acquired the only surviving SPNS F7, which was for sale on Ozark Mountain for a while, and I honestly thought it'd be cool to see saved, and I'm happy that it is.
It's the only other... So there are two Great Northern SD9s, right? And now they have both of them?
Yep.
That's very funny.
Particularly, those two were special because they were the only ones with dynamic brakes. And they were built that way because a logging railroad out of Klamath Falls, Oregon, that the GN had a half ownership in. You can guess who had the other half. The guys that ran SD9s.
Yep.
The SP.
F7
So
was a rarity on the Alco-dominated SPNS, which bought just 3 F7s and just 3 F3s and 4 F7s. That's funny.
Yeah. Truly a rare bird amongst the SPNS. Like some be restored to its original SPNS livery, and
all right, that's
maybe
the
even one.
The other thing. That's the F7 and the SD9.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, what we'll also see tomorrow, I'm dating this recording by saying this, is an announcement from Western Railway Museum. I don't know what they're announcing.
They've announced that they're making an announcement.
Yeah. They made the announcement about making an announcement.
They'll get to it.
What also is getting got to is the Ventura County number 2 at the Southern California Railway Museum, which was formerly known as Orange Empire.
Wait, why'd they change their name?
Because they wanted to rebrand. Okay. They no one knows what the Orange Empire, Railway Museum was.
I always figured the Orange Empire was like a nation in direct opposition to the Banana Republic.
Also, the Orange Empire was a reference to an old trolley excursion back in the 1920s. I think on the Pacific Electric. So that's where the name came from back in the 1950s. But anyway, they have a steam locomotive and they're restoring it to run on their museum. They previously had ran this engine, so they're just doing a 1472.
Oh, okay.
And it's a very nice small prairie. And it's a little bit different from, I guess, the regular prairies that are around.
There aren't too many prairies around.
Yeah.
This is kind of funny that we get this SPNS 700 update, just to go back to it, because the last time we talked about 197, right? The other, so lots of things going on over there.
Next week, we're going to get a 40 for 49 update on Albany and Eastern District. That's just although they do want to do that at some point.
Please.
Yes.
All right. Anyway, that's all the Western Railway Museum news, I suppose. The mad rush.
Yep.
Let's stay in the West and turn things over to Achilles, who has railroading in Utah and Idaho.
Yeah.
Which let's start with Stadler, because they're definitely going to be part of the MBTA's effort.
Yeah, Stadler is pretty cool.
Well,
so Stadler came out. Oh God, I have to turn up my.
Congratulations, good for them.
Stadler is coming out.
Yeah, as what exactly?
As
not based, because they're making battery electrics.
Oh, so that's gross. Oh, by the way, my pronouns are they, them. I never mentioned.
That's true.
Yeah.
They are modifying their Flirt locomotive.
The
Flirt, which I think LSI and Weibel didn't fit in, and nor did Milky, but Gator went into one of them. And they're building the Flirt Aku is the battery-powered Flirt, and they're bringing it into the United States in cooperation with Utah State University and a couple other people. They just built the first hydrogen-powered Flirt for San Bernardino County.
Nice.
And those are like under construction. Under construction. Thank you. And It's kind of cool seeing Stadler build shit.
It is. I mean, their facility is very cool, and they have a cool person with a cool name that works there. But they also have just disastrous German names in this article. They've sold over 110 Flirt Aku vehicles to replace diesel fleets in Schleswig-Holstein, Rhineland-Palatinate, and Mecklenburg, Western Pomerania, which I can only assume is where the dogs are from.
And the state of Utah is very, very, like, please just do whatever you want. Come on, guys, please. Because they want to flex and say, look at all these massive manufacturing jobs we've brought to the state of Utah. And I mean, they have, but it's... which is kind of cool. And Stadler's pretty cool. Their light rail trains are cool to see. There's a guy named Ellis that worked there.
Yep. We don't know if he still works there. Ellis, if you're listening to this, let us know.
He's not listening to this. There's one person who listens to this, and they're Hemlock, and Hemlock's here. So
I listen to this.
As evidenced by the fact that the question from this week was something we talked about last week.
Yes.
So in another Utah-related train news, there is a bill in the Utah House to make railroad crossings safer, which is a really good idea.
I have a gift for this.
So they would create the Office of Rail Safety, but there's a catch. So and there's a caveat to this.
I always
the Office of Rail Safety, sponsored by Brightline.
This office would essentially create inspectors that would go over across the state and address safety concerns at every major crossing in the state of Utah, and address any sort of burden on, get this, Union Pacific. So under House Bill 63, Union Pacific would pay for this office. Do you think Union Pacific's going to pay for that office?
No.
No.
We're gonna build the office, and we're gonna make the Union Pacific pay for it.
Do you think they've consulted Union Pacific about paying it?
No.
Do you think the Union Pacific is going to do anything about this? No.
Nope.
They're going to come out and say our railroad crossings are perfectly safe, and then that'll be that.
Congrats.
And the Utah House Majority Leader Mike Schultz came up and said, it's not fair to place the burden of rail safety on the taxpayer. Union Pacific needs to step up. But Union Pacific's going to come out and say, well, we already are stepping up. We put crossings in. It's UTA's problem.
He's not wrong. I agree. But
I do too, but...
You could have to fight to enforce that one, Chief. The FedEx truck getting hit.
I will remind everyone, except for Achilles, of course, who remembers, Achilles was on that train.
I was about to ask, was it Achilles on this train?
Yeah.
Which one?
The one,
the
one
front
that hit
runner
the FedEx truck.
FedEx truck.
The GIF in the Discord.
Man, there's some good news that we're not going to even cover.
I know there's a bunch of news that I wanted to go over.
I wasn't on that train.
I read through the Strasburg article and the Rockland line articles.
We talked about Rockland a little bit last episode, but
those New York Central units, like that scheme, the Finger Lakes scheme, very good.
I'm sad nobody grabbed the WW and F11 stuff.
Also, just for super quick aside, funny. So Strasburg wanted to make that 6-track yard, and so the parcel of land came available. They bought the property, and then they were like, "Hey, Amtrak, can we lease more space?" And Amtrak was like, "Yep, go ahead." It says Amtrak was more than cooperative, said Weaver, who gave credit to the carrier's Mid-Atlantic Engineering Department. So shout out to them.
Yeah,
outstanding.
I mean, shout out to Amtrak in general, because they got on the Forbes best list of employers again.
They did.
Or list of best employers again. Yeah, no.
They were like 25th.
Super cool.
It's almost like working for the government is like pretty cool.
They were apparently second. Yeah, they were apparently second in transportation behind Delta, which, I mean, given how the airlines have been going recently.
I mean, being behind Delta doesn't sound like being in a great place. However, I haven't heard anything atrocious coming out of Delta specifically. So
they hired one of my coworkers.
But you know what kind of is atrocious is the images chosen in my final article for the cover. It's just a P-42, the Boise station, and some random chick smiling.
Yes.
Yes. I love stock image of woman smiling.
She's trying to sell stuff for your model railroad.
Yeah. Julius, did you know Lombard has P-42s with DCC?
No, but eBay has an undecorated GP38.
Yeah. Anyway, article.
So this is kind of just a brief update. I'm sure we've talked about this in the past about bringing Amtrak back to the city of Boise, which also happens to be the biggest city in the state of Idaho. And I mean, when you think of Idaho, you don't think of a big city, but like shockingly enough, Boise's actually a pretty big city. They're not Utah frontrunner big, but they're like pretty cool. And so this is kind of an update on how that's going. It is still full steam ahead, for lack of a better word. And they are currently in consideration to get $500,000 to develop a service development plan for the corridor, which
I'll take it.
Which is southern Idaho to Salt Lake City, which is not the full route of the Pioneer, but like it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
And
give me $500,000 to determine whether you need a train here. I will submit a report with one word that says yes and pocket the money.
Me too.
I mean, yeah, totally.
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
That was it. That's the whole
article. It? Okay, I thought there was
the whole article.
Outstanding.
All right, Havelock, what's going on in Canada?
Speaking of needing things, the CN rail workers need to strike. So,
but Joe Biden stopped the strike.
Yeah.
So, he's the means of maple syrup production.
Out of Canada, Unifor, which is the United Electrical Radio and Machine Workers, made a statement. No, that's the other article. I'm looking at the wrong one. Unifor, representing mechanics and clerical workers at CN, has, after negotiations with CN, pushed back and moved to hold a strike vote.
Hang on.
It is the largest union at CN. It represents about 315,000 workers. And one representative said, quote, "In this climate of massive profit, CN is proposing a multitude of concessions demonstrating just how out of touch they are." So this is a pretty large union, and I believe they represent people outside of CN as well, but they represent specifically like mechanics and clerical work, like mechanics, clerical workers, excavator operators at CN. It also represents like intermodal clerical, so it represents like the dudes who do clerical work in the mechanics, not like engineers or conductors.
I find it very that was what I was going to ask for clarification on, because I find it very funny that it's the clerical workers are striking, like the people who arguably have it the best.
Yeah.
The employer's proposals fall well short of what the membership would see as being fair, especially in consideration of CN's recent announcement of profits of $1.42 billion in the last 3 months of 2022. So, yeah, this is a pretty big union, and it appears to be a union representing mechanics and clerical workers like nationwide, not just specifically at CN, based on the article. So, yeah, that's good. I really hope their strike vote goes well, and I hope they don't get Joe Biden by, is Trudeau still the prime minister here? I have no idea.
I think so.
I can't remember his first... Justin, that's right. His first name is Justin. Yeah, he is still PM.
I just want to say that in this climate of massive profits, CN is proposing a multitude of concessions demonstrating just how out of touch they are, is the most confrontational thing ever written by a Canadian.
I mean, yeah, CN deserves it.
Oh, like, yeah, they do.
Screw CN. Screw CN. I love your GP9RMs, but, like, perish. Respectfully. Respectfully die. Be renationalized. In speaking of nationalization, the one that I accidentally read instead of the CN one, UE, which stands for which is the United Electrical, Radio, and Machine Workers, made a statement promoting total nationalization of Nation of America's railroads. Members made statements against old diesels that aren't up to emission standards. They made statements about overly long trains blocking crossings and hanging out yards, when going so far as to say these rail yards are not made for 20,000 trains.
What? No way.
It was also noted that young workers are very motivated to be involved with the union. One quote from Mike Tomloff, president of Local 1186, whose local represents workers at Willie Street Co-op in Madison, Wisconsin, reported, "We get high school kids that are fired up about the union, and I think this is based. I pay my union dues for the government workers. I pay my union dues for the place I currently work at, and it is based. Pay your union dues. Join a union. If there is no union at the place you work, make a union at the place you work. Unionization is good."
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of not good, for one more little building block to the big story, go ahead, Hemlock.
Yeah. And I wanted to save this one for last because I think it is an outstanding lead-in to the big story. So, there's a lot to unpack here, and I'm going to try my best to make a potted summary. I took notes on these articles so that I would have like a nice potted summary ready, and like
literally the most collected this podcast has ever been in its entire history.
All right, so the lawsuit. So, in 2017, in Pennsylvania, a Norfolk Southern employee filed against Norfolk Southern He got cancer and alleged it was from asbestos and chemicals encountered on the job that Norfolk Southern did an insufficient job of protecting him from. Mm-hmm. He filed in Pennsylvania despite not living there. It doesn't say living there. I don't know if he lives there, but he filed in Pennsylvania despite having never worked for NS in the state, though his lawyers are from Pennsylvania. He filed in Pennsylvania, claiming that he thought he would have the best chance at justice there. A lower court in Pennsylvania ruled in favor of NS, saying that, this guy has no business filing against NS in the state, given that he does not, live here.
Or work there.
Yeah, given that he does not work here. This was filed under the Federal Employers' Liability Act, which is a, federal law. Mm-hmm. Now, PA has a consent by registration statute requiring that by agreeing to do business in the state, a company consents to be governed by the state's courts. So NS alleges that this places that letting this person sue them in Pennsylvania despite not working there places an undue burden on them, and a Pennsylvania judge agreed and dismissed the case. It has been appealed all the way up to the Supreme Court, so in the coming months the Supreme Court will hear this case.
This is just... I read through this as well because I wanted to understand what the hell was going on. I thought it had something to do with... Because I had to categorize these articles. I thought this had something to do with the big topic.
It kind of does, because this article came out after the big one, because the Lever has been actively reporting on the derailment, and this is something that could greatly influence what will happen in 20 to 30 years after this accident.
I do have more notes, so
I was looking.
I'm not trying to say. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was on a train of thought. I just wanted to say that I thought this had something to do with that at first, especially with the headline, and it just led me down this what? It just made me confused in the end. Not about its relation to anything, but just damn, I didn't realize that this is the way it works, and that, yes, laws are different in different states. I didn't realize you could be choosy about where you file.
Yeah, that's like a strategy that actually Big Oil does that a lot. Right. They go to the state that favors them the most, and then they or U-Haul, they register all their trucks in a state that taxes them the least, because you can be choosy like that.
Yeah.
Quote from the article. Hold on. Groups weighing in on Mallory's side pointed out that forum shopping is the norm for corporations. For example, many corporations choose to register in Delaware for tax purposes even if they have no license in the state. NS has filed in PA before, and their website states that users are required to consent to Virginia courts where their headquarters are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's argued that a ruling in NS's favor by the Supreme Court would force suits to happen in states where NS is headquartered, not necessarily states where incidents occurred. And quote, the idea that it's somehow fundamentally unfair to pose the burden of defending a lawsuit in a particular jurisdiction on corporation, as applied to these multi-state and multinational corporations, is a fiction, said Nelson of Public Citizen. Now, the Biden administration chose to weigh in on this, taking the side of NS and targeting PA's consent by registration statute. It's noted, and it was argued, the federal government also has one, and it cannot be claimed to be fair for the government to say, well, Pennsylvania having this is disruptive to commerce, when the U.S. has this for international organizations. How this all ties back... Sorry, go ahead.
It's just... Like, I'm not saying that this is a bad thing that you can, as a consumer or as a plaintiff, I suppose, be choosy about where you can file. It just was shocking to me that it is a thing you can do at all. I was looking at this and going like, wait, why don't they just have to file like where NS is? Or where
if
NS
it was
headquarters. It doesn't.
If it was unilaterally illegal, like if nobody could do it, I'd be okay with nobody being able to do it.
But like, if you can register in Delaware for tax purposes despite not doing any business in Delaware, like, no, it's asinine that this should be a standard applied to private citizens, but not these large multi-state and multinational corporations.
Yeah.
Like, if NS is going to expect that you file, if NS is going to expect that you like abide to Virginia courts if you do something you're not supposed to with their website, like, then it is asinine that like you can't let a private citizen file somewhere they don't live or work.
CSX.
Hi BNSF. Oh my god, the CSX unit.
Was it?
To round it out, how this ties back to the big one is that it's argued if the Supreme Court rules in favor of NS could then take this ruling and argue that cases filed related to the East Palestine derailment filed outside of Ohio were filed in the wrong venue. And while this likely wouldn't hold up in court, it could be used as a roadblock to tempt people to sue. It could tie them up in litigation before they get to the real suit, and thus, discourage people from suing or try to wait people out so they can't get to the actual suit for the environmental damage that NS did, even if the environmental damage is in like Pennsylvania or just across the river in West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Or, well, down the river in this case. But yeah. So NS is being a little piss baby, and if they don't like it, then they should hold themselves to the same standard.
You know what's funny? I went on Twitter for one of these links, and the Supreme Court's trending.
Uh-oh. Wonder what.
Outstanding.
NS
did a thing.
According to Laura Loomer, some Trump stuff's may or may not be happening, but I don't.
Oh boy!
I don't really
find out about that later.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really care to read what Feisty Jewess is saying right now. Sorry, that's in her Twitter bio. Nothing against. I mean, Israel didn't pay me that much. Okay, sorry.
All right. Speaking of Israel, East Palestine.
Yeah.
They the first article here is like the only uplifting one, and it's that the evacuation order was lifted, and it's you can go back now. Damage is done. It's not getting worse.
You can go back now. Spicy. You might get cancer. We're not saying it's safe, but you can go home.
Yeah,
you might get cancer.
No, it's just spicy.
It's not going to kill you quickly. It will kill you slowly. However,
it will kill you, but it'll do that in like 16 years, probably.
I found it fascinating that on one Friday they were like doing a controlled release of basically mustard gas, and then the Monday the kids were like, all right, back to school.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We put a bunch of we dispersed a bunch of World War I chemicals, chemical weapons around your town, and you should just go back and it's fine. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
nothing to worry about.
like the governor said that the water was safe to drink too.
Yeah, where have I heard that
It
one
wasn't
before?
though. That's the twist.
Yeah.
It was not safe to drink.
What if I told you?
Where have I, a Michigan resident, heard that one before?
Nah.
You know, I really wish someone would do the Obama glass of water thing here.
Yeah.
That would be great.
You know, I just want to say, you know, because the first thing that gets brought up is the controlled release and the controlled detonation, I suppose, of some of these tank cars, and looking at it from the perspective of you've already had a train wreck. Okay, yeah, I mean, you kind of have to. Like, there's no other way to deal with this. There's no other way to get rid of it. But the simple solution is to not have the train wreck.
Yeah, this was very preventable, let's just say.
This is, like, extraordinarily more preventable than the average accident we deal with on this podcast. Because most major rail disasters don't come with a forewarning of, hey, there's a hot box on one of the axles, should we like do something about that, and then them getting told no.
By this, essentially.
Hey gang, the train's sort of on fire. Should we stop? Nah.
It's the drive out policy. Drive out of Ohio.
Beyond
it's funny
that, like,
because funny because last time there was a train of tankers that leveled the town. It was the opposite problem. The train was on fire and they stopped it too much.
If it had gone clean through to the other side of Lac-Mégantic, it would not have been a problem.
Yeah. Well, no, that's the problem, is they took it clean through the other side of Lac-Mégantic and then shut off the engine because it caught fire. The train lost its brakes and rolled back into the town.
Oh, no, I thought you were implying, like, the runaway train should have rolled all the way, like, through and out of Lac-Mégantic and then exploded.
I mean, if the track through Lac-Mégantic hadn't been accepted, would have just, in the words of There's Your Problem, just would have rolled through and then rolled back and then rolled back until it finally stopped, and it would have been fine, and there would have been no town go boom.
I mean, it wouldn't have been fine because it would have been like, well, I mean, obviously it would be preferable, but it would have been fine in the sense that they could have just been like, so
there's a train.
Just casually let hazardous materials go down the hill.
Would have been fine in that they didn't like blow up a town and kill 60 people. It would not have been fine in the hey, we lost control of this train full of Bakken crude oil, and it could have derailed and blown your whole town to bits.
Yeah, but
sorry about that one.
On that note, could have is much better than did.
Yeah.
This train could have not destroyed the town of East Palestine for the current and future generations. Yeah. However,
I mean, they were lucky, unlike Lac-Mégantic, it derailed just outside of town rather than in the center of it. But still put a bunch of huge, very cancer chemicals in the air around the town, and then in and around the town, dispersed throughout everything.
I don't know if you heard, but good
like,
news, the chemicals in the air have fully dissipated. So
totally.
they're gone. They went nowhere. Don't ask. Where they are now, but they've dissipated.
A wizard did it. A wizard made them disappear.
God sucked them into space.
Yeah, God took care of it. Just like God will take care of your water supply.
Listen, these folks are going to meet God sooner rather than later.
It's just like this is like everything in America right now, right? Like just like the systematic
issues,
systematic deregulation and just like weakening at the knees of like safety regulation and just overall quality of the rail industry in this country.
Well, I can't help but notice it's not even, we've talked about, whatchamacallit. I suppose even calling it deregulation is a stretch. It's just a lack of regulation. It is just like they've been allowed, gigantic Class 1s have been allowed to do whatever the hell they want for a really long time. And finally, the chickens are coming to roost, as in...
Yeah, I mean, when you let the when you let the player in the game who's going to win the game write the rules, I mean, of course they're going to...
Yeah. When, like...
We're hiding under all this metaphor. The thing is, the companies are just doing whatever the hell they want, and that includes systematic deferred maintenance and things that are ignorant of safety for the sake of profit. We've talked about this before, but just to lay down the law here, this isn't... ultimately, this isn't a product of deferred maintenance. This isn't even necessarily a product of they're working the crews too much. It is... They said, this train is having a skill issue, but we want it to get to its destination.
Did you say skill issue?
Yes. Sense be damned.
Right.
This train is presenting a potential hazard. However, the needs of the company are greater than the needs of all the people around the railroad track where this could and did derail and catch fire and explode.
Exactly.
When you have a hot box, you stop the train and you set that car out and somebody deals with it later. You don't keep on trucking.
No.
Exactly.
Like, they figured this out like 200 years ago, guys. And that's why this whole situation is so egregious. If this had been a freak accident, if it had been a semi pulled out, drove around gates and derailed the train, or even there was an extreme weather event, or even just a rail broke, because you can have the best maintenance in the world and you can miss a tiny crack in a rail that would have been only noticed if you're ultrasounding all the tracks.
Or if half the country goes into a deep freeze and then comes out of a deep freeze.
Yeah, these things can happen and be a mysterious act of God's love. This was not that. That's what makes this whole thing so much more egregious.
This was the whole game leading to this moment. The whole movie. This is the climax of the film that they were creating.
Right. It's because sometimes the train go off the track and that's not something you can necessarily help. Like, it'll happen sometimes, but what you're hoping it happens at low speed, or that your safety systems keep it from World War I gassing a whole town and then like several hundred miles of countryside and several hundred miles of river. And it's
all
just,
the dirt.
Yeah.
I love dirt.
On some level, like, I gotta hand it to NS that, like, great, you didn't even make us have to, like, dig for it. You didn't even have to make us dig for this is a product of corporate greed. This is a product of corporate greed and lax regulation and terrible management policy. You handed it to us on a silver platter, and in that respect, I have to give it to them.
Yeah, they were like, hey, this is what happens when we do this stuff.
Yeah, like...
And we were like, oh yeah, it is.
Could not have made it more transparent. I know we did the Lac Mégantic comparison earlier, but I just want to go back to the There's Your Problem episode on Lac Mégantic. There's a quote from Roz that I think is still prescient 3 years later, and it is, when a company that makes an app that lets you keep track of your farts or something has some problems, that's not such a big deal. But if the railroad is struggling or cutting or deferring maintenance, it puts us all in danger who live near the railroad and rely on them for transportation. When the railroad shakes hands with danger, we all do. This was an accurate summation of what happened in Lac Mégantic, 12 years ago, and it's an accurate summation of what happened in East Palestine, not even 12
That was like
days
a little
ago.
over 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I think the worst part of it,
It was 2 weeks on the 17th.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. It was prescient about an accident 12 years ago, and it's prescient now about this one.
Yeah. I think the worst part about it for me is that, there were literally people willing to, there were people that felt so importantly about issues with the railroads that they were willing to disrupt the entire economy to make people aware of said issues. Mm-hmm. And then, the highest of the high government was just nah.
Yeah. And then
you guys should get back to work. And then this happened. It's they were, were they not telling you something
And then
like
the government
they were saying
told,
that like we're risking the entire economy on this. Like this is clearly important.
this is
I
a
don't
terrible idea. We should stop doing it.
I don't even know
And-
if that follows, though. It's just one of these things where if this was a more amorphous disaster, if it was based on more anything less clear, like we compare it to Lac Mégantic, and we sort of talk about it in context of the averted strike, or at least potentially, it'll happen later. And it's just
5 years from now.
even if, say, I'm going to assume that really, even if the rail workers had gotten everything they wanted, and and the railroads had made everything right overnight, I don't see how this would have been prevented, because this is a call being made by someone who is not on the scene, and the crew going with it. And could that have been a product of fatigue? Maybe, I guess, but it just doesn't. That wouldn't have changed.
But also,
this.
if you say, like you said, everything would have been fixed overnight, then the issue of the management saying push the train through regardless of the issue, like wouldn't that not have happened if they had fixed everything?
I mean, maybe, but this seems
because isn't that
unprecedented and disconnected from everything else?
I would argue that it's connected to everything has been happening recently.
Yeah, I would argue it's basically a summation of the issue, that being, rampant prioritizing, uphill slow, downhill fast, tonnage first, and safety last.
Perhaps. I'm just thinking that the sort of workers' concerns were more with their own well-being than with the overarching operation of the company. I don't know if the two things necessarily go hand in hand. I'm saying that it's tough to sort of... I feel like it's tough to connect these two things, which, you can do, but I feel like it's tough to connect these two things, or even to connect this to Lac Mégantic, because it's such a clear-cut mistake. It's not someone, it's not a single crew member didn't tie down the train well enough, which admittedly is also a fairly clear-cut mistake, but it's different.
Mm-hmm.
It is that they got the call from dispatch to press on, and they did.
The thing is, I don't see how you make, for one, there were other safety factors that could have prevented this outside of not being told to press on, or at least mitigated it. Better braking systems that other countries have used for years, and that U.S. railroads refuse to quit because they don't want to put down the money for it.
That the United States railroads bragged about developing.
Yeah, and sure, you can pin it down to one specific mistake, but I would argue that, like Lac Mégantic, there's sort of a cascading chain of failures. And while you could argue that the strike going ahead might not have prevented this, I would say that systemically this isn't just like a freak accident, nothing could have prevented. There are systemic causes here, and whether you want to argue that had the strike gone differently, it might have prevented this, it's linked back to the same systemic causes that provoked the threat of strike in the first place, at the very least. If safety was a number one priority at NS, no way in hell would you have a guy who says, your train's having a hot box, press on. And no way in hell would you have had a crew that went, sounds good, boss.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. If you were to solve the issues with the strike by correcting the most base root cause, that is true.
Well, I would also argue that a few of the rail unions are in support of nationalizing, at least in some form, the railroads. So to argue that the strike wouldn't have, in this hypothetical situation where the strike solves everything overnight.
What you have to do to prevent this from happening is to is to reprioritize. And
Right.
And that's what nationalization would do.
That's what you would hope nationalization would do. But tonnage first, safety last can still happen under any system.
I don't want to fall into this idea that, like, well, if the strike happened and then we had nationalized like a month ago, then everything would be hunky-dory fine. There's no way this could have possibly happened. Because I think it's a mistake to, attribute that much. I think it is naive to attribute that much competence to government, honestly. I'm a proponent of nationalization, not because I particularly trust the government or think it's competent, but because I feel like I have a better chance at influencing the course of government than I do influencing the course of Norfolk Southern. Because I can vote for the guy in charge of the government. I don't get a vote in who is in charge of Norfolk Southern.
Well, get a few $1 billion and become,
you can buy some stock. You vote,
I will sell my gas turbine, and we can all put our money together. And
the gas turbine will go for millions, and then we can finally become major shareholders.
Not financial advice.
I'm not saying that nationalization would have prevented this whole hog. I'm just saying, in the situation that Ellis presented, where the strike solved everything overnight, if nationalization, as some of these unions have proposed it in their, like, for lack of a better word,
let me correct myself before we get too far with this, because I did say solved everything overnight, but what I was really meaning is made the workers happy enough to continue working. Like, I don't mean like magically the railroads are perfect.
Like, oh, fairy godmother made the railroad system perfect to be balanced.
I mean that. And I wasn't even saying the strike solved everything overnight. I'm saying, like, the railroads came to the workers' terms, is what I meant. I'm sorry if that was unclear, but that's what I meant.
Yeah, I thought we were. Well, I was just thinking in more of like a hypothetical.
Yeah.
Which is what I thought because of what you had said.
Yeah, that's my bad.
I do agree that the strike itself probably would not, even in the best case scenario, have wholesale prevented this or the kind of work culture that leads you to a dispatcher saying, ignore the hot box, and the crew going, all right, we'll ignore the hot box. But, I think they are both the strike and this incident are symptoms of the same underlying cause.
Yeah. Which is railroads don't want to be railroads, they want to make money.
Right.
They're investment firms. They're not railroads.
Yeah.
I think that's important because, like, it's very easy for your average person to ignore, like, some guy I've never met working for a company I've never worked for is unhappy with his working conditions. That's abstract. It doesn't affect you personally. But this train might derail in my town and dump World War I chemicals on my house and the place where I send my kids to school and kill my pet is very concrete, is very immediate. I feel like that's something people pay attention to more than the more abstract issue of labor concern. And, in some way, I think that's good, and I hope that sticks at least a little more than the whole union thing did, because, like,
I just like the whole the hesitant, I feel like it wasn't covered for so long. Like, it's been.
I don't see how you could see that. This was everywhere. I was getting questions from family members immediately.
I got questions about it from everyone.
For me, I didn't see it anywhere on like I was looking for headlines and I didn't see anything for like a day or two. And then from the big media companies, like I didn't see anything for a day or two. It was all about the balloon, and then and then I saw like the Lever article, and then I saw like Twitter, and then I saw like the big and then it surged, everybody's talking about it.
It took a minute, but it also took a minute to be clear how serious this was. I mean, when we talked about it on the last episode, it was NS had a derailment and stuff's on fire, and it was kind of that way for a little while.
Average day on NS, basically. Yeah,
it was just like, we had a fiery wreck, which isn't necessarily an unusual thing to have happen. We have, in recent memory, I can think of a couple, not like name them specifically, but certainly we cover train wrecks at the beginning of every show. sometimes stuff catches on fire. And
right.
I don't think we realized how impactful it would be, certainly. And the mainstream media definitely didn't, because this isn't their...
they don't know trains.
Yeah, they don't know trains. I mean, again...
It's something that they have a show Newsday they can call out.
Yeah, the train derailed and blah, 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 blah. But this was an unfolding story, and I guess no one wanted to jump on it because, again, sort of like us, they didn't realize how big of a deal this was going to turn into. And it's a real big deal.
The thing that I'm worried most about is that, like the strikes, maybe people are going to be able to more viscerally relate to this, but I'm worried that one of two things, possibly both, is going to happen. That, like, come March, everyone's gonna be, this is gonna be a distant memory for everybody but the people of East, but the people who are facing the environmental fallout from this, or that people are going to see this and take away the wrong thing. That being,
train bad.
When this was brought up to me, when someone asked me about this in, like, my university's queer server, what I said was, they brought it up because they were concerned that, like, the cloud of World War I gas was going to affect us up here in Canada. Mm-hmm. Like, the wind was going to bring it up here, and they personally were going to get poisoned by this. And I stress strongly that I think that's the wrong conclusion to take, because, one, I don't think we're really close enough to be in the blast zone for that up here in Canada.
Mm-hmm. No, perhaps not.
But, more strenuously, like, this, you should be worried about this whether or not this specific derailment personally affects you, because if things are left as they are, it's probably only a matter of time before something like this does come knocking at your door.
Yeah, it could happen again.
If lax safety policies and cost cutting and lack of regulation continues, it will happen again.
I mean, if you ask Pete Buttigieg, there will be more derailments.
And I will not do anything about them, even though I'm transportation secretary.
It's not his job. He can't do anything about that.
That's like the final part of the story that I wanted to get to was, like, so we talked about how we don't always trust the government, as, like, in terms of, like, nationalization might not have prevented this, or probably might not have prevented this, depending on where you...
Well, here's the thing. I think the strike would have prevented this, because the whole railroad system would have shut down, so there would have been
But to finish my little spiel here, we're tying this back to, this is why we fear nationalization. In my opinion, like, I could just imagine Pete Buttigieg being in charge of the railroad that did this.
But he's there's nothing I can do.
But it's the government. Yeah, he's like, I don't know how we could have prevented this. I don't know what I could have done. Like, the Republican last term did this, like, not me.
Yeah. Well, God, gee weeds, if only there was someone in a position of power to do something about this. If only there was someone whose job this was.
Well, it's really interesting because I heard an interview, I think it was David Sirota, but I'm not exactly sure. One of the Lever reporters, he was talking about this, like, Pete Buttigieg's role in this, and he brought up an interesting point that the transportation secretary has some super unique roles in government that, like, pretty much any other, like, cabinet member have. Like, he basically has, like, the sole control to, like, regulate the transportation sector.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just like, my hands are tied, man.
God, yeah.
Although,
if only there was someone who could do something about this. Too bad these lobbying groups are putting too much. I can't do anything about this because my hands are too full with this money that NS gave me.
Well, the interesting thing is that his previous, like, career history was at a lobbying firm, McKinsey.
Yeah.
I will say, though...
So, like, we wonder why his hand... Like, who's tying your hands, Pete?
Yeah, who's tying your hands?
An interesting sort of crossroads here, though, because it is a little bit, what's the word? It's a little bit more complicated, obviously. Everything always is.
Of course.
I wonder what the written-in-stone powers of the transportation secretary are, because as we recently learned with the whole EPA thing and the EPA sort of legislative ability being looked at with scrutiny by the Supreme Court, and them being told, like, hey, if it isn't, like, written down, you can't do it. I wonder what it says, what it being the founding, the outlining documents of the Secretary of Transportation's office says that he can do. And I don't doubt that it's a lot. And I'm not saying, like, this absolves him of, like, oh, maybe his hands really are tied. But it just makes me wonder what the other facets of this thing are, which I'm sure we will discover more as time goes on.
Okay, so here I'm on transportation.gov.
Okay.
And so, this is FOIA information. Thank you for misleading me, Google. Sorry. Let me look a little bit more.
There was one more thing I really wanted to add to this, and it's that I remarked earlier today, talking about the rail industry with someone else, that, like, in a lot of ways, the 70s were a crossroads for the railroad industry. It was sort of a tipping point. There were in a few ways, things could have changed in big ways. Between the collapse of Penn Central and the oil crisis, there was genuinely a shot for a brief moment that there was a mass tip towards nationalization, a mass tip towards, huge electrification, and then those things didn't happen. We reached a crossroads and we took what I would say is the bad timeline. And I think now, between all of the strike messes and the hopefully increased awareness of derailments after this incident, I feel like we're once again reaching a similar crossroads, and I really hope we pick the right path this time.
Yeah, I have so many questions and thoughts. I don't want to necessarily draw this out even longer because we're technically half an hour over time. I don't think it was wasted time, but I just have thoughts of were there any actual regulatory impacts from Lac-Mégantic? Could we see something similar to that if there was anything? There's a lot of, even before this event, there have been a lot of wheels in motion. Some of it has to do with the strike, some of it doesn't, or the potential strike, the averted strike for now.
I found it.
Go ahead.
Okay, so on uscode.house.gov, subchapter 1, duties of the Secretary of Transportation, leadership, consultation, and cooperation. Secretary of Transportation shall, 1, under the direction of the President. Hold on, let me pause this music. Sorry, can't read and listen to music at the same time.
I can't think either. It's okay. I get it.
Under the direction of the President, exercise leadership in transportation matters, including those matters affecting national defense and those matters involving national or regional emergencies. 2. Provide leadership in the development of transportation policies and programs and make recommendations to the President and Congress for their consideration and implementation. 3. Coordinate federal policy on intermodal transportation and initiate policies to promote efficient intermodal transportation in the United States. 4. Promote and undertake the development, collection, and dissemination of technological, statistical, economic, and other information relative to domestic and international transportation. 5. There's only 9. 5. Consult and cooperate. Consult and cooperate with the Secretary of Labor, Marty Walsh, in compiling information regarding the status of labor management contracts and other labor management problems, and in promoting industrial harmony and stable employment condition in all modes of transportation. Squash strikes. 5. Consult and cooperate with. I just read that one. 6. Sorry. Promote and this website's from 2005. Promote and undertake research and development related to transportation, including noise abatement, with particular attention to aircraft noise, and including basic highway vehicle science. 6. Promote and undertake research and development related to. Fuck, I just read that one. Sorry. Consult
this
with
is the most riveting thing that's ever been said on this podcast.
Yeah. I know, yeah. I'm sure people are really not falling asleep at the end of the podcast listening to wonk policy.
I am already falling asleep.
All right. Well, okay. Well,
Have you covered the train-related ones?
I'm just browsing to see if there are any other train-related ones.
Okay, because I think like 2 and 3 are the most important. Go ahead.
Consult with the heads of other departments, agencies, and instrumentalities of the U.S. government on the transportation requirements of the government, including encourage them to establish and observe policies consistent with maintaining a coordinated transportation system and procuring transportation or in operating their own transport services.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Cooperate with state and local governments, coordinate federal policy on financing transportation infrastructure, including the provision of direct federal credit assistance and other techniques to funds. Okay, that's it.
Okay, so the thing that's important to me is there's a lot of things in this list about advise, but I think point number 3 is the only one that says, like, you have power, basically. Like, you can implement things.
Yeah.
Again, still doesn't exactly say what,
What things?
What things?
Yeah.
Like, what are
But I think that's
limitations
kind of the point,
of those
though.
things?
I think it's supposed to. I feel like it's supposed to be broad.
Yeah, I know it does make sense that it is broad. I just can't help but look at these and notice, like, the vast majority of the...
baby.
What?
I said that's what the Supreme Court's for, baby.
The vast majority of the notes are like, hey, you can tell people what they should do. So, but there is some room in there to do things. I just wonder what precedent says exactly now. This is, again, it's like an onion. You find out, okay, this is what the office says you can do. Now, what does precedent say you can do? Now, it's just, it's never a straight answer.
Wait, so who did Conrail? Was that Congress or was that the DOT?
I would assume that was Congress.
Yeah, it was Congress.
Yeah.
Because they had trapped their feet around for years and then finally did it.
And then what was Amtrak? Because I thought Amtrak was the Nixon administration, wasn't it?
Amtrak was the Nixon administration in the beginning.
But by the Nixon administration, they just mean Congress.
Yeah.
Congress while Nixon was in the office of the presidency.
Yeah, he got credit for it, basically.
Yeah. And I would like to add for Ellis's sake, I did look up while TJ's reading was going on, like what sort of safety improvements were made in the wake of Lac Mégantic, and there is a nice government website about which I will post the link in the podcast chat for Ellis's sake, but I will not read on air because we're already going over time.
Yeah, I'll put this in the Targos for everybody.
We only need to do that once.
There is also an article which I will link in my termination. There's also an article I will link in my termination written in June of 2022, talking about how in the wake of the Lac Mégantic disaster, railroad companies, private interests could not be allowed to affect the regulations that govern them. And I just want to read this one line from the last paragraph of the article. At a time when the threat of potential disaster looms on the horizon, the stakes could not be higher. Mm. This was written last year, and it, well, look at that.
It's almost like there was a disaster.
Gee weeds. It's almost like there was something prescient about that sort of went overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I have
they're Canadian.
I have an important question before we wrap up here. Agilis, how much did you say that thing was worth?
$1,000.
Okay, so that's 4 shares of NS stock. So we can make our voice heard. I think you know what you have to do. Anyway, does anyone have anything we need to cover for maintenance of way stuff? Anything? I just opened the Amtracker for the second time. Now I have 2 of them. I don't really have anything exciting to note. Unfortunately, I am putting my potential streams of the MPS server on hold because I was going to do Industries and they are broken still. So, sorry for the bad news. I am currently, as I mentioned, under construction. I am currently reviewing a large document for a friend of mine and unfortunately cannot share information, but not because it's like a fun secret, just because it's not my business to share. Which is why we are not doing Royales and stuff right now. But I do intend to get back to that with Tyler now that his Wednesdays have opened up. And we will be doing some more Royales soon, TM. And after that, we will probably have a debut of Loco Dome. Some tests, probably some private tests, and then some public tests
Oh yeah.
You know, I'd like to get that out the door because it's one of these things that's like gives a real use for the trading cards as trading cards. Does anyone have
I think we should make some epic videos.
Yeah, we should. When I was putting together the Batch 2 Kickstarter's like, hey, you should put a video in. You know, most successful Kickstarters have a video. And I'm just like, I would love to. I don't have the time. So I would love to do this is how you play Locomotive Versus or Locodome.
So what we got to do, Ellis, we got to take a trip to all the steam railroads in New England and like in the EBT and, you know, Pennsylvania too. And we got to take videos of those and then overlay them with playing the game.
Mm-hmm. We got to get lots of B-roll.
Yeah, we got to go to every steam railroad that we can get to.
I'll put this on the Iron Horseman Company card.
It's packed right off.
Yeah. Anyway, does anyone have any guesses for latest train on Amtrak?
Eastbound Builder.
Eastbound Builder, alright.
Actually, I'm changing my vote.
Why, because you looked?
No. Northbound Crescent.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to do the Eastbound Chief.
Eastbound Chief, alright.
Westbound Builder, because I'm feeling Stevens Pass probably has snow.
Oh man, I would love some snow. Alright. Unlock?
The one that goes to Texas is like this something star, right?
It's the Eagle.
The Texas Eagle,
The Eagle. It's like, it's Eagle or Star. I can't remember which one.
The Texas Star. I think that's what the train was.
Westbound Eagle, I guess?
Westbound Eagle. Oh, there it is. The Westbound Eagle is on time at San Antonio.
Wow.
Yeah, the fact that you went, oh, there it is like, oh, no, I didn't get it.
Oh, sorry, on time at St. Louis, Missouri. The Westbound Empire Builder is 3 minutes late at Browning, Montana, and also 19 minutes late at Winona, Minnesota. The Northbound Crescent is 1 hour and 36 minutes late at Anniston, Alabama. And what was the last one? Oh, the Chief. The Southwest Chief to Chicago is 52 minutes late at La Junta. There should be another one down here somewhere. Yeah, there it is. It's 7 minutes late at Riverside. Let's find the latest train on Amtrak. Where are you? What about this one? Yeah, that might be it. San Joaquin. 2 hours and 55 minutes late at Fresno. I don't know what the hell
all
happened
things considered,
and
that's pretty good.
That's not bad.
The other San Joaquin is 2 hours late.
Yeah, no, there are two 2-hour late San Joaquins, which is just incredibly impressive considering the length of that.
A silver meteor to New York is an hour late.
Oh, yeah. Silver meteor to New York, even 1 hour. There's a Lakeshore Limited that's an hour. There's a Zephyr that's an hour and 47 minutes.
Somehow the San Joaquin is beating the Canadian. The Canadian to Vancouver is 2 hours and 20 minutes late. It is beaten by the San Joaquin.
Yeah, the Canadians stopped being a joke a couple years ago. I think it was during COVID. They just found a way to not be really, really late.
Yeah.
I guess they figured that out.
Yeah.
So wait, are there no black trains on the map right now? Oh,
there's just two San Joaquins. That's it.
Yeah. Well, what's Canada? Fucking Jesus Christ! California High Speed Rail is going.
Yeah.
I have been flubbing so bad tonight.
Yeah.
As much as I want to save a collected Pennsylvania discussion topic for next time, I think I'm going to make my termination this brief little one that 611 is locked in Pennsylvania and will not be living anytime soon.
What?
611 is wintering at the Railroad Museum of Pennsylvania. It will be on display there, and every day that goes by, I feel like the chances of the Queen of Steam, so-called, ever leaving the Strasburg Railroad gets smaller and smaller.
No.
Remember those jokes?
It says promises an exciting 2023.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Remember
they're going to be excitedly going to the 6-track yard in
Remember
it
those
runs
jokes?
great.
remember those jokes about how in like the year 2030 all Steam will be at Strasbourg? It's starting. They've got their first victim.
Look, Steamtown is just gonna sell to Strasbourg. Strasbourg's gonna run all the way to Scranton.
Did I say Steamtown? I meant Strasbourg.
No, you said
did.
Strasbourg.
But I'm saying
Okay.
their future plans.
Yeah.
And then once they get to Scranton, they're also gonna build through the mountain range and connect to the EBT again.
Yes.
And they're going to do dual gauge on the Strasbourg Railroad, and they're going to bring 20 back.
Yep.
Anyway,
And then they're gonna contact Edaville, and they're gonna have like a teleportation device. Because Lee Modinger.
Yeah, and we're gonna move out there with our SP Mogul.
yep.
I invented
Our
the
wagon
first
top?
teleportation device for steam locomotives.
Outstanding.
After I saw 89 in a flood down in Bethlehem,
I was for a minute there, you were doing the JFK and not like not Lynn Modinger at all.
I cannot do Lynn Modinger.
Told him I'd make him some CD.
We choose to put RGS-20 on the moon.
Oh, I did not.
Anyway,
But no, my termination was the steam locomotive Wasser from 1930.
Where was Lynn Modinger? Was he at the grassy knoll or?
yeah, this is
Damn.
actually a really cool cheat. We need this for every railroad.
It is really cool, especially because it says what M6 Moguls were converted to wagon tops. There were apparently only 4 of them, and 1785 happened to be one.
I need to send this sheet to Steve and Wes. Just like hope this helps because they have their constant like the M6 Moguls on steam locomotive are just
They're
a
weird.
disaster.
They
No
they
offense.
are, and when you dig deeper into it, it's like, oh, the 1785 is just really weird compared to the rest of them
Yeah,
because of the wagon top.
Yeah.
there are still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different rows of M6. That's got to be great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, Achilles.
I wanted to show this really satisfying video of a signal system as the train goes up a helix and you watch all the signals change. I thought it was cool.
I got one of these
Yes.
Hero Wars ads, so
Sponsored.
yeah.
Oh, shout out! I had to do this contractually. Shout out Israel.
Yeah, but like, is there a town in the U.S. named Israel?
There has to be.
Probably.
Probably.
I mean, you got Palestine, you got Boring, Oregon.
We have China.
We have, yeah.
China's already in the U.S., brother.
List of biblical place names in North America.
There's a lot of Jerusalems.
That,
A lot of
that is
Bethlehems
true.
too.
They're
Galilee. We got Galilee.
we got Galilee. I don't think there's an Israel. That's almost disappointing. All right. Anyway, TJ, what is this?
All right.
Oh, it's a great video.
Okay.
But okay. Cool. I decided that I didn't want to end on a depressing note, though if fellows would not mind sticking the article in the cargoes I did post the link to it. So instead, Mexico 3-foot is based, and I have provided a link to a site with a bunch of information and a bunch of pictures of NDM narrow gauge, where they have centered headlights on a narrow gauge consolidation, and I just love them so much.
They're so cool.
My perfect little boys. Look
South
at
American
them.
South American steam is South American narrow gauge in particular, like Cuban narrow gauge too. Oh my gosh.
My perfect babies. I love 60. I love 273. It's just so it's so goofy in a way that I love. You know, especially if you've ever seen me post that one image of a 2-foot gauge mogul with a centered headlight, and it looks so ridiculous. It's like half the diameter of the boiler barrel. Oh, it's outstanding, and I love it.
Oh my god, the first image of this video is a cat.
Yeah.
How did I never notice this before? I never scroll to the bottom of the document because it gets longer and weirder the longer the podcast goes on. And Tyler has an entire section down here from his episode 200 rambles. Oh my god, I didn't notice this. He was writing to us while we were doing the episode. Mr. President, a second car is at the auto train. Anyway,
Mr. President, get down.
Anyway, thanks for watching this episode of the Terminus Podcast. I know we've gone long, but I'd like to think it was worth it. We'd like to thank...
I feel like this was an all-timer.
Southwest Rail Cams Live for not kicking us off the air. Please don't.
Please don't sue us.
Yeah. And
your camera's very good.
Thanks to you guys for coming on this definitely a Saturday evening at a reasonable time.
Oh, I love Saturday.
Yeah, and I definitely am going to be able to
I
sleep
love
in
Israel.
Tomorrow, which is definitely Sunday. TJ, you gotta stop.
Hey, it's what? I got paid. I got
do
paid.
get to sleep in.
Cool.
Yeah,
Anyway.
President's Day. Salute the troops.
Oh yeah, we don't get
the
that
president
day off anymore. I used to get that day off, or I used to have the option to take President's Day off.
You guys
I don't get
days
President's
off?
Day off, and I'm mad about it.
I also don't get President's Day off. Oh well. Anyway, thanks to Wes and Steve. I know I made fun of the M6 organization. I'm sorry. And without you guys, we wouldn't have the trading cards, which, by the way, still have plenty of Batch 002. The Great Experiment trading cards for sale. If you're interested, hit me up on Discord. We're going to work on a website at some point. I've been spending my allotted trading card time communicating with the Main Central 470 people. So, we got a great diagram because I asked for axle loading. Unfortunately, the diagram does not have axle loading. Oh well.
Oof.
We'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. Goodbye.
Bye.
With axle loading.
Bye.
Bye.